Is everybody ready to get back into this very heated situation? Yeah? Anybody? Heated? All right.
Almost.
Very good.
I don't pun often, but when I do, it's horrible.
I love that.
Matt.
Hello.
It makes me feel
Sent
better.
you $40.
Why the fuck did you do that?
So you can order pizza.
You are such a loser because I can't send you that money back.
I will cry.
Get me
That's so
flowers
cute.
sometime, please.
This is no fun for me.
Get pizza.
What a good girlfriend for you there.
Yeah.
Right?
Sending you international pizza.
Jeez, can I date Momo?
Now then, let's get back into this. Doddle, I'm going to just kind of start over. Doddle, you are currently hidden within the crow's nest on the top mast of the Sirens' Call. The galleon ship sways gently in the breeze, and the rain is falling down around you in thick sheets. There is a heavy, overcast gray sky, and off in the distance you see the towering buildings of Waterdeep from here. You can see a great deal of the dock wards from your vantage point, and in the sky off in the distance, the City Watch patrols on their amazing griffins that they ride majestically through the skies. Lightning pierces from time to time, and a flash of bright light blinds you temporarily. Below, you hear the crackling and creaking of flame as it slowly envelops the entire building within this area of the dock ward. You know that the ship, the Sirens' Call, is placed within this this region known as Anchor's Rest. It is a network of dry docked boats, all of them wood, and the flames within the warehouse are building brightly below you.
Oh, okay. I know what I want to do. I'm gonna real quick lather up. I'm gonna lather up some spit real quick. And then go. And I picture it like silently goes. And then as soon as it splats, I'd like for 2 waves to like come out of the ground and just splash on top of the fire, and I'd like to cast Tidal Wave, please and thank you.
It's the cutest way that Tidal Wave has ever been cast in all of Dungeons and Dragons.
It requires a drop of water, so.
No, I love it. It is 30 feet long. I don't think it actually hits anyone in your party, though. Water erupts across the burning boards of the warehouse, and there were 2 individuals that were still within that rubble that are going to immediately fail their dexterity saving throw because they are currently prone. They had not yet been able to reposition themselves. So they are going to take 48 bludgeoning damage. If you could roll that for me, please. Oh, it's a lot of 1s, though. So you only do 8 points of damage. That was a massive amount of damage. Your intention wasn't really to harm anyone when you cast it. It really was to put out the flames. And I'm going to have you roll a d20. And as long as you don't roll a 3 or below, the flames are completely extinguished.
Yay!
Okay, so you very, very skillfully put the flames out, and the building is no longer on fire. However, now that the tidal wave has subsided and the entire building is drenched and charred and covered in this blackened ash, you see a couple things very clearly. There are 2 figures in the rubble that are pulling themselves up, and they are well armored and dressed differently than the other gang members. These seem to be individuals that have survived everything that has happened within the last few moments on this loft. The other thing that you notice is that the entire building seems to be weakened by your fireball, and there are beams that are missing and boards that are hanging at skewed angles, and everything that is missing from the building groans and creaks in the wind. You don't know how stable the building is, but you have prevented it and the surrounding area from catching on fire. So congratulations on that.
I'm getting real worried about Siraye. Yeah, I'm gonna... Well, I got all the way up here, so I'm grumpy about it, but I'm like, and then I hop over the crow's nest and I start climbing back down.
Just make an acrobatics check for me.
Oh wait, I can just press the button. The future's amazing.
The future is amazing. 15. So you very skillfully step out from the crow's nest, and even though it's very high up and you're nervous, you manage to grab onto some of the ropes and start lowering yourself back down to the deck of the ship. All right, with that, it is now Juniper's turn. Juniper, you are currently standing next to Hawke. There is an enormous corpse that has crashed down around you, and 2 opponents have been thrown to the ground. One of them is now embedded in the vines that you've spread out across the stone floor here. This woman is fighting Hawke, and she looks very badly wounded, perhaps mortally so. And she continues to fight with honor against him.
I mean, she's fighting with honor, but who is she? I don't know her. I'm gonna go up and punch her in the face, try to knock her out.
Wow, that is quite an unarmed attack. You do manage to... June steps forward and punches this swordswoman directly in the face. So you do 4 points of bludgeoning damage. She stops and looks at you, and you can see this welt and bruise start to form around her face. I'll deal with you when I'm done with him.
June's just gonna look over at Hawke. I think you know that you can't really hold back, right?
No.
I'm not saying, excuse me, she looks at the woman, I'm not saying to kill her, but just make it quick, okay?
Just for flavor, while the 2 of you are talking, she slashes at Hawke and he steps back. Am I interrupting something, lovebirds?
Get her, dude.
Yeah, you don't get to say that. She hates me, thank you.
Well, anyways, June just kind of coughs. Finish it, okay? And
Dude, that's the sound of a ship!
All right, so...
It's all we've ever wanted.
oh my.
All coming together.
Maglo,
Oh my.
you hear this interaction. Is there something that you'd like to do? You've still got Busby assigned to Hawke.
Hawke, don't kill her. Busby, if he does it again, make sure he doesn't.
Do what you need to, Hawke, but don't kill her. I agree.
He does no sword. We need her. Well, you can't do non-lethal spell damage, right?
You can't do... It depends on the spell, and I might allow it for narrative reasons, depending on what it is.
And there's no... Oh god, fucking Shelob has just entered.
It takes care of the other bugs. Thank it and wish it well.
Yeah. He's going to hold his action in case someone else tries to attack, because Mags, from where he is, I can't believe, can see anyone else.
Yeah. So, Maglo, you take your rifle. Busby is flying still near Hawke, and in all of this, you are observing everything around you. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me. No, that is the first time that we've ever seen Maglo fail at this, I think. But with a natural 1, I need you to roll one more time to see if you get another one. Okay, so you're fine. We didn't confirm that. You don't recognize what's happening around you, and you're focused in on potentially making this shot. You're concerned that this mercenary, this Alyssa Hightower, has information that might be of importance to the rest of the group, and in your own way, your intelligence has worked against you, Maglo, as you have focused on the immediate situation and not the surrounding situation. Siraye, you have been standing silently, unseen, for moments now as you observe the situation. All of your training has taught you how to handle this situation. What do you do?
I'm still gonna sit and wait. I'm gonna hold my action.
Everything is silent, and you see the scattered paperwork and shattered boxes of whatever cargo was being carried here. As you do so, you are very quietly watching everything around you. At the far end of the ship, there are a series of cages, and all of them are empty. All of them save one. Whereas each of these cages has steel bars that's built into the structure of the ship itself. Your eyes have adjusted enough into the darkness now that even without any light whatsoever, you're able to kind of pierce this darkness. And you see empty cages with the doors swung open and jutting outward as if someone had very hastily removed whatever was inside. And there are straw beds that are scattered outward. However, on the far end of the row of cages is a single cage that is still locked. And inside of it, you see a strange four-legged creature that is pacing back and forth. And even though you can hear nothing, you think that you might see the jaws of the creature open and close as if it were making noise. And it seems very intent on something on the far side of the room, opposite of the cage. But you do not see anything there. Does that change what you would like to do, Siraye, or are you waiting?
Okay, I'm gonna enter the room, but I'm gonna be crouched. I'm gonna enter quietly. I'm gonna try and keep myself hidden as I enter past the doorway into this room.
I need you to make 2 rolls for me. The first roll that I want you to make is a stealth check. The second roll that I want you to make is a sleight of hand. Okay, so you got an 11 on your stealth, which is not as good as you've been rolling, but still adequate.
Oh.
However, your sleight of hand is not as good. That's a 7, Siraye. You begin moving forward, and you're very quiet as you do so, and you're careful about where your steps are. However, you end up stepping onto a glyph that has been scratched in chalk on the ground, and it flares and disappears.
Great. Awesome. Can I hear stuff now?
No.
Oh. Awesome. I'm gonna hide somewhere in the room.
Okay. So,
Do I see anything in the room, or am I even in the room? Am I still in the stairway?
You are in the main hold of the ship right now. So there is a open area where all of the storage of the vessel is kept. So there are those shattered boxes, there are the cages on the far side. Across the way is another set of stairs leading back up to the other side of the ship that you had been standing on earlier.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna hide somewhere in the room.
There's
Probably
a table that has been knocked over, and you tuck behind that and you hide.
Okay.
A moment later, you see these creatures floating past you as they swarm the area, and there are 5 of them.
Okay. Whee! I'm gonna still hang out behind that table and hope they don't see me.
Make a stealth check. That's a 10. And
What in the world?
they start looking around desperately, and they turn. You don't hear anything, but you can almost feel their breath as they pass near the table. One of them whips around and looks at you, and you need to roll initiative for the attack. So this is a separate initiative. I'm sorry. I'm not going to break you. Actually, we're going to leave you at 9. They're going to go after you. We're going to come back to you.
Okay.
Hawke, you are currently standing in front of this mercenary, and she has just received a punch to the face from Juniper. So she steps forward and she swings at you. Rolls a natural 20 on the first strike.
Holy shit, nice.
The second strike is not sufficient to hit you. So her first strike, she steps forward and she swings outward. And let's see how she does. You take 18 points of damage as she stabs forward. And her blade actually impales your shoulder and comes out the other side as you feel a warm gush of blood as she pulls you close and then with a dagger strikes out at you again, but you manage to step back, pulling yourself off the blade and batting her blade back with yours as you just barely keep the blade from slitting your throat. She was trying to kill you.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
That puts you at 35, is that correct?
Yeah.
It is now your attack, Hawke.
Good hit. And make sure my shoulder's like still in its socket. And I'm just gonna look at her. Can I ask you one question?
Go ahead.
Do you work for the Mind Flayer?
I work for whoever pays the most.
That's the Santhers. Hawke is just gonna nod, and he is going to meet her tit for tat. So that's 24 plus the green flame blade.
Yeah, that's a hit. Even though she is desperately parrying every strike you have, you manage to push your blade through, and you're just a better swordsman. There's no two ways about it, but she is very skilled, and as she continues to make every right move, there's very little that she could do outside of train for another 10 years to be able to match your skill. And you're aware of this. So your first attack does, 12 points of damage?
Yeah, 12 points slashing plus 4 fire.
Your slash pushes her backwards, and you knock her to the ground, and she buckles. Trying to force herself up on her blade, she falls, bleeding to death on the ground. Do you have a bonus action?
I do, but no one to really use it on. The other two guards are down, right?
They are pulling themselves to their feet, and they are trying to escape. They're running out of the back of the warehouse right now. So if you'd like to do something to them, they will be running out at the end of the round.
Although, actually, yeah, Hawke is going to take a move action to get closer to that guy.
Okay, so you move yourself there. Does that put you within an attack of opportunity if they are escaping?
It actually doesn't say in terms of feet on my page. It just says when
It's
a hostile
fine.
creature you see moves out of my reach.
Yeah,
so they
your
weren't in my reach.
Your reach is 10 feet or 5 feet.
Yeah. So they
Is it
weren't
10
in
or
my
5?
reach to be.
Yeah, they're not within your reach. It doesn't matter. So we're going to say that they are going to, at the end of the round, run out of the back of the warehouse into the alley on the other side, pushing their way through debris as broken parts of the loft fall down around them. Let's see, that's the end of the round. Everybody else, there are 2 figures that are moving on the top part of the loft, and they also seem to be retreating back into the shadows. I'm going to make some stealth checks, and we'll see if you can follow where they go. Who would be in range? Doddle, you do not notice. Hawke, Maglo, and June. Hawke, Maglo, you got a natural 20. Hold on, let me roll again. Nope.
Nice.
You got a natural 20 on your perception. Maglo, you are sitting there with your gun, waiting to see what happens with this swords person, and she falls. Hawke finally gets the advantage, steps forward after she stabs her blade through him, and he drops her. Far across the room, however, on the back end of the loft that has begun to crumble and fall apart as the building has been badly damaged, you do see 2 shadowy figures. One of them is a woman dressed in black leather with a hood, and the other is a bulky-looking man with a shaved head and a very long beard. and he is picking himself up out of the rubble. Both of them are like communicating to each other silently using what looks like a thieves' cant hand signal, and they step into the shadows. Is there anything that you want to do?
As soon as I know I said I held my action, but I'd like to fire, but as soon as the person goes down, Mags like goes to put his rifle away and then pulls out a healer's kit. There are 2 people up there, they're going back into the shadows, they're hiding.
Okay, so you announce that as you move forward. That's the end of the round. We're going back up to the top. Doddle, you are hanging from the ropes high above the Siren's call. Do you spend your entire action coming down?
I'm gonna have to, aren't I?
Yeah, so you pull yourself down from the ropes and you get to the wooden deck of the ship, which is still creaking in the wind, and the rain has soaked through. Your coat is drenched. You look like a wet, drowned rat. You are now back on the Siren's Call deck, and you see 2 doors, sets of double doors on either end of the ship that lead down to the hold below. And you've also got the walkways that are scattered out in front of you. Where would you like to go?
I'm gonna go to the one Siraye entered, please.
Okay, so you start moving towards those double doors, and that's where we leave you. Juniper, this mercenary has finally fallen. She's dying on the ground in a pool of blood. You see Maglo rush around the corner with his medical bag, and he shouts,
There are 2 people up there, they're going back into the shadows, they're hiding.
what do you do?
All right, I'm going to do healing word. 4.
You heal her for 4 points of health as you kneel down and say a silent word to Sylvanas, and there's a glowing energy, an empty light that kind of radiates from the palms of your hand as you press them down, and her wounds close, and she is unconscious and breathing very shallowly. Maglo, you end up rushing around the corner. June has just spent some of her divine essence to bring her back from the edge of death. And you can see that she's not going to die now, but she is horribly mangled from Hawke's attack. You've seen this as a combat medic. Hawke has almost surgically placed these strikes on her. There is an X on her chest, and the final slash was a little more chaotic because Hawke was at a point where he finally just realized that he had to push forward. But it's a very gross cleave into her shoulder that you can see bone from.
Mags is going to, he like runs in, slides next to her, and is going to start just doing, just like wrapping in bandages, doing very basic stuff with the med pack. None of his like vials or potions or anything. He's doing a very basic stabilized pat down, essentially. He's going to look toward Hawke, and then is going to pull out his pistol, bolted, and it's going to shoot Hawke with a healing word. So I'm going to my healer's feat for Alyssa, and then healing word on Hawke. So healing word is a bonus action. Eat.
Yeah, so you 6 healing word.
That's also 6 plus 4 because it's alchemist supplies. It's weird.
So it's fine. It's not weird. I'm still catching on to all of the bells and whistles for the artificers.
Yeah. There's a lot.
So there's 10 total healing, and that goes to Hawke. Is that correct?
That is true.
And then how much goes to Alyssa?
I'm gonna find out how much it would be. It's 1d6 plus 4 for the healer's kit. So that is going to be a 7.
A 7. Okay, so
7 to Alyssa.
Yeah,
Purely based on stabilization. Nothing like so good that she can get back up in the fight.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You've dealt with these sorts of wounds before. In fact, this whole situation is bringing you back to your time with the Neverwinter Army. And how you had fought in a number of very dangerous battles, but your medical work was sorely tested to those who had suffered egregious magical wounds. And you know that as a medical professional, it can be very, very difficult to navigate how to stitch together sinew when things have been evaporated or burnt away. And had you not performed the amount of healing that you had, you feel that the cleave across her shoulder that has exposed bone and kind of shattered her entire musculature and skeleton in that general region. If you hadn't performed that she probably would have lost an arm if it had healed naturally without intervention. But what you've done is managed to help the stabilization that June has started, and you have healed her in a way that if she receives further care, she will regain her full strength.
With Busby, because Busby sheds very minor but still some light, and because Mag saw the two people walk off, he'd like to just point and Busby will go and try and light up that area, or still kind of under the essence of having Hawke, giving Hawke help if Hawke goes after them, but more just so we can see where they are, or what, if that's possible.
Yeah, Busby flies up into the general area of where those two individuals were in the shadows. A dagger flies out at Busby. They're rolling with a disadvantage, but they do hit.
I'm a busboy.
So this dagger ricochets off of the small metal songbird as Busby topples to the ground, and you lose sight of Busby, and the back end of the loft where Busby was illuminating goes dark for a moment. Siraye, you have the first attack. Go ahead and roll your damage. It is not a surprise. These creatures discovered you before you were able to surprise them. So you do not get a sneak attack.
As soon as that one turns and sees me, I'm gonna try and stab it in the big eye with my pole arm.
Whoa, that's a natural 20.
Damn!
You versus these creatures, you clearly are meant to slay these things, whatever they are. You did 14 points of damage as your spear shoots outward, and you stab into this creature.
Then I want to flick it off my spear and try and hit one of the other ones. To bat it away.
Okay.
So that's what I want to do cinematically. I don't know if it actually does anything, but cinematically.
If you want to be mechanical about it, you can wait until your next action, and you can do that and try to throw them into the others. If you want it to just be cinematic, I'll allow it to happen right now.
Yeah. I just want whack.
So you stab this thing through the eye, and your spear pierces through it, and this black torrent of visceral gunk shoots out from it as you blind it. It shrieks. And the silence dissipates. And you can hear everything around you now. And somewhere in the distance is a horrible roaring sound. And you hear these things now. And the stab as you jut your spear outward, you hear, "Oh, where did you come from?" As you stab into it, and you kill it. As you have impaled it, and it is impaled on your spear, you fling it outward, and the other four kind of scatter away from it. And then they regroup, looking at you. It is now their turn. All four of them look at you, and they're mimicking all of these different things at once. Who are you? What? Help us! Help us! What is that? What is that? You need to make 2 wisdom saves. As a number of beams shoot out of these creatures at you.
All right, that's an 11 and a 16.
The first ray, you manage to push it away as you feel your mind begin to cloud. And you push yourself away from it as this strange, pulsing ray of visible magic shoots out of one of this creature's eye stalks and hits you, but you manage to dispel whatever its effects are. The other one shoots, however, and immediately you feel this droning dizziness wash through your body. And you hear, "Who is it? Who is it? Where did you come from? And you're standing on a post in the middle of a storm. The dark of the sky surrounds you on the mountaintop, and you're looking out over a misty valley. And though it is night, and a moonless night at that, you see mist rolling over everything below. You are focused, and the wind surrounds you. Up here, it roars, and then you hear the roaring from within the ship's hold behind you, and the two meld together, and you see these creatures floating closer to you, and you realize that you are being mentally attacked by them. And you focus your mind, and you try to push back so that they cannot gain purchase or hold over you. And you fight desperately to regain your senses, as you know, whatever happens next, these creatures have an advantage over you. I need you to make a DC strength saving throw and a dexterity saving throw.
Strength. Dexterity?
And both are at disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Well, here's another strength. Here's a dexterity. And here's another dexterity.
Oh, you were so close. You were so close. That last roll. So here's what happens. There is a telekinetic blast that shoots out of one of these rays, and you immediately step aside with the reflexes of a cat. As if you knew that it was coming but didn't see it. You shift your entire body as this blasts the floor and explodes wood out behind you. The table that you were hiding behind flies across the room and shatters against the wall. Another blast from the other creature. It is an icy blue wave of magical energy, and you almost step out of the way, but you get hit. And you take 6 points of damage. It's cold damage as a ray of frost shoots directly into your chest and covers you in ice and snow. All of them, as a bonus action, rush at you. Surrounding you, they're echoing all of this over and over and over again. What is it? What is it? And then you hear it. Find them. And you recognize the mimic, the echo of the mind flayer that you met in the keep.
I didn't meet him.
And you're correct, you did not meet him, but it is the voice of this strange creature. Find them. That's the end of your turn. Yeah, so they've attacked. You're attacking down there. We are going to Hawke now. Hawke, you're standing in the center of this warehouse. All of the opponents that are visible have been dispatched. Busby has just been shot out of the sky by a thrown dagger. What would you like to do?
Hawke is going to immediately follow after Busby's last location, and he's going to cast light on his sword so he can illuminate the dark area.
Okay. Well, your blade immediately brightens in its flame, and the area is now glowing with a light purple glow as it washes across the rest of this ruined warehouse. And are you moving?
I'm not sure how far I can move. I know I have 30 feet of movement.
You have to climb up a ladder that's kind of precariously hanging on some rubble now. So if you want to climb up that ladder, I'm going to have you make an acrobatics check, and it's going to be the rest of your movement to get up to the top.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Good thing I'm great at dexterity.
Yeah. So it's not a failure. However, it's not much of a success either. You are pulling yourself up in your armor on this wooden ladder, and it's very slow. And one of the rungs breaks underneath you as it's been heavily charred by the fireball. And so you just kind of throw it out behind you. But at the end of your round, you do manage to make it to the top of this ladder. That's your round. The other individuals at this point have managed to escape. So you no longer directly see any sign of anyone up here, Hawke. That's the end of the round. Everybody but June and potentially Doddle are out of combat. The rain is still falling in sheets, and the warehouse is groaning under the weight of the ship that is dry docked on its roof.
I was going to say, when Busby got shot out of the sky, he stops healing and then immediately runs to it. So I feel like his mind isn't in a place.
It's a voluntary failure. It's fine. It's a voluntary failure, and I appreciate that as a role player. I will give you an inspiration for it to use later. So you can bank that for when the time comes. But you do rush past, and you immediately go towards this ladder, and you begin climbing up it. Make an acrobatics check for me. 30-20. Yeah, you, without missing a beat, you jump over the missing rungs, and you manage to make it all the way up the ladder very, very skillfully without any sort of issue up to the top of this loft. Now, Maglo hasn't become stupid in this moment. This is a very unsafe loft. What has happened up here has rocked the structure of the building, and even though the greater implications of that are lost to you, Maglo, you do realize that you're going to have to step very carefully to get over to where Busby is. So this is going to happen for you when we come back to you, all right? June, what are you doing in this moment? You're now alone with this mercenary.
How big is this chick?
She's very muscular. She's only about 5'5", but she's broad and well muscled. Yeah, she's well muscled, and
Okay.
she has a weight to her, but it's not unpleasing, or she's a very strong opponent, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna try to put this chick on my back.
All right.
I don't know if she's too heavy or not.
You're going to attempt to pick her up. Okay, so
Yes.
go ahead and just make a strength check, because
Sure.
June is fairly slight. Is that correct?
Yeah,
All right. What is your strength?
it's a +4.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you actually, for your size, you managed, even though this is a bigger woman, you managed to pick her up. And you have her now on your back. And where would you like to take her?
they went in opposite directions, though, right?
Both Maglo and Hawke ran up the
Yeah.
ladders in front of you in different directions. I'll remind you that you do have an exit behind you that was barred shut when you all first entered.
Ooh, she's on my back though, so that's probably gonna be a little hard. I'll try it. I'll try to open the door directly behind me. Try to get that. Unhinged.
You turn back, and then you realize that the individual who had let you in originally, who had guided you and Maglo and Hawke back in, was still back behind all of you when this was occurring, and has already opened the door and has escaped out of the back. So that
How we
door,
stand.
yeah, that door is open now, and you don't even have to remove the bar from it. He was sufficiently probably frightened away in the moment where Hawke eviscerated the very large, bulking man.
Meet you,
Oh,
buddy.
that's just me.
All right, then I'm gonna head out that door with my new girlfriend, I guess.
All right, so you and your new friend leave through the main door, and you get out of the building, and you do see this sway of the building now that you're outside. Go ahead and make an investigation check, June.
9.
It's probably just the wind, but this building looks very, very badly damaged. If you didn't know better, you would think it was swaying heavily in front of you.
Shit, well that's not good. Alright. How far away am I from my cart, from like our horse Maglo?
You are a few blocks away from Maglo. You actually turned Maglo over to a stable.
It's only a few blocks. She's kind of heavy.
You're also going to be walking through the open streets, even though this is
with a woman on my back.
This is a very dangerous area, but you don't know it's that dangerous. Outside, you see the unconscious form of the vagabond that was originally here that Doddle attempted to help and woke in a violent rage. He is still unconscious and splayed out on the ground here. The rain's just pouring down onto him.
I stand.
Okay, is there any place around me for like covering at all?
There are a few overhangs, yes.
Few overhangs?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna put her underneath one of those, and then I'm gonna try to drag the bum over to one of them as well.
Okay, so you begin doing all of this out in the alleyway, and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back to Doddle. Doddle, you are up on the Sirens call, and you start rushing towards the doorway that you saw Siraye sneak through. You see an open set of double doors that lead down into the hull of the ship, the hold. What would you like to do?
I'd like to be careful about it, but I just want to go down there and see if I can see Siraye.
Okay, so go ahead and make a stealth check if you were trying to be quiet.
Okay. Boop, boop. Ah.
You take a step forward, and the floorboards creak loudly as you do so. You have not yet walked down the steps of the stairwell that leads down into the hold of the ship. You haven't gone below deck. You're still above deck, and the rain is pelting down, and you hear a voice behind you. Doddle? Doddle! I'm gonna pull up the map for you. In the center of the ship, by one of the masts, you see Siraye. She's standing there in the rain. She is very relaxed and is holding her hand out. Doddle, it's time to go.
Suppose I wouldn't make an insight check, like why I wouldn't have a reason to. There are no shapeshifters around. Well, shit! Siraye, what happened?
It was bad, but it's better now. We need to go.
Okay, and I'm gonna run towards Siraye, because that's what I would fucking do! Oh no! Let's go!
You run up and you grab onto Siraye's hand. And she looks down at you and smiles. But her eyes are completely dead. Make an insight check, and then if you do well on that, I'll make a perception check for you.
Oh, no. Okay, so that's a 15.
You know.
Sorry, what was it? My mind. I'm so nervous. My mind's going blank. As if it was an insight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Okay, so you know in an instant, as soon as your hands interlock with Siraye's, there's a cold clamminess in her grasp, and her eyes are dead and have no life in them, and you realize in a horrid moment that this is not Siraye.
It's time to go, Doddle. It's time to leave.
And then I make a perception check for you. Yeah, you notice there's a trail of ooze past Siraye and leading off to a corner of the ship where one of these barrels and boxes kind of had been piled up. And that slime trail leads all the way back to something else, and this creature grabs you.
I can't do anything, to be clear, right?
In this moment, you cannot do anything as you've already stepped into its grasp and its range. But you will be able to do something in a moment.
The roleplay heavy character is gonna be the death of me. Oh, indeed.
No, I mean,
This
and
is
that's
amazing.
as it should be. You are playing your character, and that is more important than any mechanical advantage that you could ever have. You are doing it correctly. Never question that, even though it creates complications.
Oh boy.
Your AC currently, I believe, is 14. No, it's 13. You immediately see Siraye's form sort of waver, and from behind, this blob of ooze bursts out from all of the wreckage, and you can see that Siraye is puppeted by a tendril of slime that drips all the way back to this thing. And this pseudopod of slime shoots out of it and slaps down onto you. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 7 points of psychic damage.
Oh, okay.
So
sorry, 5 and 7?
So you take 12 points total as you are coated in this ooze and dropped to the ground.
Thanks for the potion earlier, Maglo.
Yeah, thank God.
That was real dope of you.
I'm gonna
That
have
was
you
pretty cash money.
make an intelligence check.
Juniper, my boss battle dice. I should have just found the book. That was a 6. Intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. Investigation, intimidation. Oh, it's up here. It's up here. It's 11.
Okay. Something is familiar about this in a horrid way, and you can't place it. And as you get knocked to the ground across the deck of the ship, do you do anything?
Can I roll to try and keep a hold of her?
You may. You can make an acrobatics check if you like.
It's 11.
You do not manage to keep a hold of her as her hand becomes very slimy and wet and kind of slips right off of you. As you fling across the deck of the ship.
As I get pushed across, it's raining. I'm assuming the boat is wet, right?
It's very wet.
Okay, as I get pushed away, I'd like to put my hand like in what I'm assuming is a puddle and like fling it towards her so that the water like sprays across her, and I'd like to cast another tidal wave, please and thank you.
Okay, so you splash water out from the puddle that you've landed into, and you create a tidal wave that bursts outward. Let's see, I need to make a dexterity saving throw, but this creature, as you do this, you realize that it doesn't really stand, and as the water washes across it, it sort of like disappears into the waves for a moment, and parts of it kind of get scattered about, and you lose sight of the Siraye for a moment, and then everything kind of comes back to it. Tidal wave, however, does create bludgeoning damage, so you can go ahead and roll that. So that's 17 points of damage, and it does rock across it, and its form shifts and moves, and you're not even certain if you've done any damage to it, but you have certainly hit it. There's no question about it. Your magical strike with this tidal wave was well placed.
Okay, bonus action. Hi, please, thank you. I'd like to like panic and stumble to get up and try and like hop over some crates or something.
You scatter and scramble as you move across the wet deck of the ship and attempt to hide. You roll into a pile of crates. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me. Okay. As soon as you hide, you hear Siraye's voice. Doddle, it's time to go. Come out, Doddle. I need your help.
I'm gonna cover my mouth with my hands.
Doddle, I thought we were friends. We'll come back to you. Meanwhile, below deck, Siraye, you are surrounded.
I'm being like hypnotized, right? Am I stuck? Can I actually do something?
You were dazed. You are no longer dazed.
Okay.
Whatever they do with their beams, you think that they have the ability to fog your mind.
Okay. I'm gonna shake it off, and then I'm gonna come up with my spear and try and slice through the closest one.
Okay, go ahead and roll to strike.
Yeah, it's a 12 to hit.
You miss. You strike out, and because of the proximity of these creatures flying right in front of you, you're unable to gain purchase as you stab outwardly with your spear. Do you have anything else to do this round?
How close are they to me?
They're each of them floating right in front of you. So mechanically, you have one in front of every square.
Are they within unarmed range?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna use my bonus action to try and punch one of them.
Okay, so go
or
ahead.
kick one. I'm gonna kick one.
Okay, go ahead and roll your kick. As your spear fails, you then kick outwardly at one of the 4 creatures that's flying near you. Is that a 7?
Yeah.
That was a natural
No,
1.
it's a nat 1.
Go ahead and roll again to see if you get another natural 1, Siraye.
God dang it.
Okay.
Yep.
So you did fail. The creatures are swarming you, and it is very difficult for you to focus on them and attack, because all around you you hear, "Who are you? Stop them! What is that? Help us! Help us!" And then that weird echo. Find them. And it sounds familiar, even though you've never directly encountered the creature that has made the noise. It sounds like something that you know from a dream. Okay, so it is now their attack. There is 4 of them. I need you to make a pair of wisdom saving throws, please. 16, you beat the effects of the first one. The second one, the beam hits you, and again, you're dazed, and you feel the ice of the blast that had hit you before, and now you are standing at the very top of this mountain, and you are chilled to the bone as you are standing in the middle of a blizzard, attempting to find stillness. And there is heavy, piercing snow that is being blown across your face in shards that are almost ice-like, and they cut into you, and the cold is so pervasive that you have managed to find the red-hot center of your focus and allow you to survive what would be death to any other living creature as you stand here resisting the forces of nature through the power of your mind and focus. And in the distance, even though you know there is no life anywhere near you, you hear the chanting. And it continues. And then you realize that they're affecting your mind again, and you break yourself back to your current focus. They're using your mind against you. They know that you will retreat into focus, and they're trying to distract you with it. However, you are currently under the effect of one of these dazes, and your speed is halved, and you have a disadvantage on any attack roll until the next round. There is, as you start to pull yourself back into focus, you need to make a strength saving throw and a dexterity saving throw. All right, so 2 more beams hit you, but the focus of your mind, you are able to dodge them. So another ray of frost shoots out of one of these eye stalks, and you step aside as ice freezes up next to you. And then you step aside again as this blast of telekinetic force shatters a chair behind you.
Okay.
We're going to leave you there. Okay, so below in the warehouse, Maglo and Hawke, you have currently made your way up to the very top of this warehouse, to the second story, where the fireball erupted, and this section of Anchor's Rest is decimated. Hawke, you're the first one up the ladder, but you do immediately see Maglo pull himself up and join you on this loft.
Maglo, do you see where Busby is?
Do I?
You see where Busby fell, but you do not see Busby.
No.
It's not looking good in here, though. I don't trust this building. We need to get the others and get out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I just need to find him first.
Okay, I'll help you.
Both of you need to make acrobatics checks.
Did you cast guidance on yourself?
You can cast guidance on yourself the way that I've always played it.
I go like very. I assume is it like very rickety here?
Yes.
Yeah, he like very slowly puts his hand in the bag and grabs you. Small like sprigs of leaves.
Yeah, I mean you're effectively using your action to give yourself a D4 bonus on your roll. So go ahead and roll your acrobatics. You have an 18, which is sufficient to get you across the rickety parts of this very crumbling, damaged loft. And there is wood that is breaking underneath your feet and falling down into the second floor.
See where they go.
I rolled a 4.
So yeah, that's kind of garbage town. You step forward and you break through the floor. So go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
11.
You take 8 points of damage, more than some of those enemies did, as you hit the ground and you actually break a couple of boards across your back as you land flat on the first floor. Maglo, you see just Hawke tumble into a hole.
Hawke! You okay?
My pride is hurt much worse than my body, but my body is hurt. Maglo, I don't think that place is safe.
I know.
I'm guessing, though, here.
You work your way across crumbling boards, Maglo, once you confirm that Hawke is not badly wounded. And you notice that the floor is not going to last much longer. Make an investigation check now. You manage to find Busby, and as you do, Busby is on the ground, twitching and pulling himself up.
Your little bud. Hey, you go over to me? I know, it was my fault. I'm so sorry. It was such a dumb call. I thought you could do it. It's fine. Can you get out of my hand, bud?
Crawls onto your hand. It seems like it needs some repairing, but will not be badly damaged. There's a large gash from the blade that has dented the brass and left a big scar across the chest of the small songbird.
I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. Okay.
And it's at this moment, Maglo, that you look up and you start looking around the building now that you have Busby back into your hand. And you realize that the structural integrity of this building has been destroyed. And you see beams that are creaking and swaying as the wind and the weight of the rain pelt down upon it. And there's this deep, lasting groan of the wood of this building. And you know that this is not safe. This building is going to fall.
Hawke, I'm really going to need you to just get up and get the fuck out, because this place is going to completely come down on us.
Well, I'm not getting out of here without Doddle and Siraye. Is there any way up to the ship? Do you see one?
You do, Maglo. Looking up from this shattered loft, you see a network of ropes and pulleys and a labyrinth of these wooden bridges that hold the Sirens' call suspended above the building, and it's swaying like a pendulum in the breeze above you.
Oh yeah, I can see a way out for me. You gotta find a way out outside though. There's no way you're gonna be able to get back up here.
Is there any way you can make it up there then?
I think probably figure something new.
All right, I'll try and get up from the outside. We need to get them out of here.
Alright, make sure that Alicia woman gets out as well.
Yeah, that's a good call. See you on the other side, and I'm gonna head out through the door that's open.
Maglo, make me another dexterity saving throw. Okay. A board creaks from above, from somewhere, and falls downward with a pile of shingles. And they crash onto the floor next to you, and a number of other boards break and kind of crumble inward. We'll come back to you. Juniper, you're outside. You manage to grab onto the vagabond that's in front of you, and you pull this reeking drunk across the alleyway into the overhang where you have placed Alyssa Hightower, the mercenary that had brought you into a very fierce fight and had nearly wounded Hawke very, very, very badly. What would you like to do?
By this time, did Hawke come out? Or is he still making his way out?
Hawke has not come out yet, no.
Alright. Then I'm going to leave those two there, and I'm going to run back in to see if my friends need me.
Okay, so by the time you've dragged this vagabond into the alleyway and gotten Alyssa into a position that you felt comfortable leaving her, you turn and you start running back into the building. And you hear this creaking groan of the building as it sways. And you can see that the entire wooden structure and the stone at the base of it, the stone is crumbling as the ship, like a pendulum, is picking up weight in the wind. And it's swinging back and forth now. The entire building is creaking and groaning with each gust of wind that shoots through the dock ward in the middle of this storm. You run towards the door, and coming out of the large door, you see Hawke, who looks a little worse for wear and covered in soot and dirt as he pushes out of the door.
Hawke!
Yeah.
What's going on?
I fell through the floorboards. We were looking for Busby. That building's gonna come down. We need to get Doddle and Siraye out of here.
Oh, I knew something was wrong with that building. Oh, where are they now?
Take my hand and I press it against the wound on my shoulder. I'm gonna cast my lay on hands. Yeah, I can heal up to 7 points of healing per long rest. So I'm gonna do that.
You heal for the full 7?
Yeah, for the full 7.
Okay, so you use your 7 points of healing for the day, and you imbibe yourself with this internal holy glow. And as you do it, you feel kind of a sickening sway. And
oh, wait, I just realized I can't do that because I already used it on the homeless guy. Never mind.
you feel this sickening sway, and your wounds do not close as you realize that this burning fire that is held within the sword in front of you is sapping all of the energy from you. You feel the pull of the Shadowfell as this empty echo washes through you, and you are unable to perform any further healing.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. That fight took a lot out of me. Listen.
Hey, come here, real quick. Come here,
Yeah.
come here. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him. 3.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, so where are the others?
MacLeod's trying to get his way up there, but Siraye and Doddle are still in the ship, I think. Or I think they might be in the ship. I saw the fireball come down from there, so that means at least Doddle's up there.
And you think this building's coming down?
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's just on fire.
We have to get them out of there.
So we can't leave this lady by herself. Tell you what, you're much better with... I'm a klutz. I'm gonna admit, if I try and get up there, I'm just gonna fall through the floorboards again.
All right, fine. June's gonna... Oh, jeez. June's gonna run back inside and try to go up the ladders and stuff.
Okay, so Hawke, you're staying behind, and June is running inside the building?
Inside.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
You have immediately run back into the building as the floorboards creak underneath your feet, and there is a swaying in the wind. and the boards above you groan painfully as parts of the ceiling start to fall very slowly, landing in front of you and shattering outward as the slate tiles explode.
Bags is trying to go through that one hole.
Up, right?
Yes. Up.
Okay, that's all I need to know. I'm going to go back to the individuals on the ship. Okay, Siraye. You have... It's your attack. You have a disadvantage on any attacks. Thankfully, you've avoided the majority of the damage that these creatures have attempted to inflict upon you. However, you are still standing firm against them, and the close quarters of the ship and their rushing, slavering attacks that are directly upon you are very close.
I'm gonna try and get out of here. I'm gonna try and move away.
All right.
In fact, I'm gonna spend a key to do it.
Okay, so you're going to disengage with a key, and are you moving towards the cages, towards the staircase that you entered into?
Oh man, I need to see what else is going in this room, though.
Towards the staircase across the way. You have 2 staircases, and then the cages.
I'm gonna go toward the cages. I'm gonna go deeper into the pit. Because we need to see what else is going on in here.
Make me an acrobatics check.
Oh, no.
You got another natural 1.
No. No. Okay. I'm going to try.
Siraye, let's see if you get another natural 1. It's a 12, not a natural 1. You are having a rough time, my friend.
Yep, always having a rough time. I'm the best, worst rogue.
So here's what happens. You have focused the internal strength of your energy and your connection to the world around you, and you leap into the air over these creatures, and you land perfectly on the table across the way. And as you do, the ship sways heavily in the breeze, and ropes somewhere outside snap, and the ship jolts. And you slide off the table and hit the ground. You are currently prone, and that ends your action.
Great.
The 4 creatures turn, slavering, and immediately track where you went, and move to try to surround you again. Who are you? What is it? Get help! Help us! Help us! Find them. All 4 of them shoot at you with these beams. I need you to make 4 strength saving throws.
There's 2 with the disadvantage.
It's a 9 and a 9.
There's 3.
One of them's a 15.
And there's 4.
And one of them's a 13. Only 2 of them strike you. These beams blast out all around you as this torrent of magical energy shoots from their eye stalks onto you, and you manage to roll out of the way, still regaining some shred of focus given the situation that you find yourself in. However, 2 of them have struck you, and you are immediately blasted across the space into the back of the room. You don't take any damage, but you're already on the ground prone, so it doesn't matter. Finally, we are going to leave you there. Doddle, you're hiding. You hear Siraye. Doddle, why won't you come out? I need you. I need help, Doddle.
Upon hearing Siraye's voice say I need help, it's gonna click to me that if a fake Siraye is here, what's going on with the real Siraye? And I'm just gonna try and book it for the door Siraye went through.
Okay. So
Oh, help my friend!
yeah, so you go ahead and run towards the other doors. And you, as soon as you run out, you are putting yourself in range of attack. So
Woo.
I need to make an attack roll.
Go ahead.
Oof.
Oh no.
Yeah, so again, this slimy pseudopod shoots out from behind Siraye and smacks you. And you get hit, and you get knocked the opposite direction. Oh.
Shield.
So reaction shield. Okay. So that is going to be very helpful in this
Can I do
situation.
something fun with that? It's just voice and somatic, so I just go
Yeah,
like.
go ahead and give me some cinematics for this.
Just as I'm running, I'm gonna like lift my hand up, and I'm gonna say a word in Elvish that I'm not even sure I remember the meaning of, and be like. Oh, neat! Because I don't think I've ever cast that, because I keep on forgetting I have it.
Hold on here.
This long pause is making me nervous here, Nox. What are you up to?
Should make you a little nervous.
Oh!
If I'm correct, Doddle, your standing AC is 13?
Yeah?
Okay. So it still hits you.
Hi.
You have thrown instantly, and in this moment of instinct, you speak this elvish word, and this glowing blue crystalline magical shield appears around you and then kind of dissipates, but you know that it offers you this protection and guards you against any sort of incursion. However, this slimy pseudopod, as if it didn't even matter to it, continues to strike you and flings you across the ship again. So with that, Doddle, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
14.
You only take 4 points of damage. However, the pseudopod slaps down onto you, and instead of completely bashing you away, it wraps itself around you and pulls you into it. And you are submerged in the ooze of this creature as it works its way across you, pushing across your coat and up your bare skin and into your mouth. As you scream outward, you are silenced. Immediately, echoes of memories start ringing out throughout your mind. You receive 15 points of psychic damage.
Oh no.
Woof.
Okay.
Now, you manage to remain conscious as you feel your mind being probed by this creature. And this is what you remember. You're sitting cross-legged, Dodalia, in front of a series of tomes that have been laid out before you. Each of the books has been meticulously cared for over the centuries, and they contain the entire lineage of your family's line. You have been tasked with memorization this day, and you are silently reciting and reworking the names of elders that have walked before you in these palaces, each name repeated 100 times over. It is tedious, and you keep saying their names over and over again.
Akil Thirdborn, Pelagar fifth born to the first house of the Moon and Star Clan, Botero, Joswak, Har Inthiel, Shantil, Lorich, Layabet, Pequat, Fintal, Tadalrin, house leader for 400 years, first in the palace to guard against the dragon blight. Sindel, keeper of the flame from below. Ranjal, warrior, king.
And then you stop. You can't remember the next name. You know it. You've been here now for over 8 hours. So you go back and you try again. The books sitting out in front of you, the family lineage. Another name gone, and another. You're watching as these memories are evaporating before you. You can't remember the names, though you know their importance in the royal structure of the House of Teowin. Within the Isle of Evermeet, you stop and you grasp at your temples, and you feel this dull, droning pain, and you look down at your hands and they're covered in a clear, viscous slime. And you're tracking these tendrils of slime across your face as you touch it, and you turn quickly, and you realize that you're now sitting by a brook in your homeland, and there's water bubbling next to it, and your mother is playing a lyre, softly plucking at the strings, and the babbling of the brook next to you is ringing in your ears, and you know this place so well, and your mother is singing, but you can't remember the words of the song anymore. She's silent as the song has been taken from the memory. The lyrics no longer exist in your mind, and you scramble backwards, stumbling over rocks and falling into the brook. But the brook is not clear, bubbling water. It's oozing slime, clear and translucent, and it pulls you into it.
That is not the way, Dodalia.
You realize now, Doddle, that you are standing in your full elven form, standing in the archway of one of the grand libraries of your family's palace. Standing before you is a very noble-looking elf of advancing years. The age is only apparent in his eyes. As you can see, they are clouded slightly. Elves do not age as others do, but when they come close to the end of their time, and the separation from the world begins to weigh upon them, their eyes become dull and far away, clouded. This wizard of your house, Berthiel Olathir, is known to you. He has been your family's servant for a time much longer than any of your current family has been alive. He is ancient and powerful and knows many magics. And as is the way of your people, the eldest teach the youngest, so that their knowledge may ring throughout the ancient years, even when they rescind from the world and fade into the weave. Your family has charged me with your instruction, and as you are of noble birth, I have agreed. As a grand mage of your house, I will always be here to aid you. But you must understand that you are not talented like many of your age in the arcane arts. You have failings that will ultimately not serve you as a ruler. You have yet to achieve any minor success in the most rudimentary of skills. This man stands before you, and you desperately want nothing more than to prove your worth.
So yes, sir, I understand, and I appreciate that you're taking on this burden, and I promise I'll try my best.
Like a wall, he does not move as he observes you. Doddle, I need you to cast the mending spell.
I'm not sure I know the mending spell. It's not right away. Should I roll for it anyway?
Make an Arcana check at a disadvantage.
Alright. That's 12.
And you begin casting, and you remember this. The one time that you managed to succeed in front of him. Magic sparks through your fingers, and the torn parchment in front of you begins mending together. It reforms itself, and you look down upon it as he says to you, "After all of this time, you have managed to do what a child would have done at half your age. I suppose you're quite proud of yourself. I, however, am not." And you look down at the parchment, and you remember the words written upon it. And then those words evaporate in your mind, and you realize that your memory is flawed and gone. And you can't remember what the parchment said, and you raise your hands back up, and this thick, clear, viscous flows, and the figure of Brethil Olathir behind you shudders, and you see tendrils of slime holding him in place as this pseudopod rises up in the memory and smacks at you again. And you are returned to this moment as you are currently on the ship of the Siren's Call, hanging by ropes above the building as it creaks and moans under the weight of this enormous galleon ship. And you are encased in the ooze and slime of this creature. Maglo. The rain pours down in sheets around you as the storm is worsening. Make an acrobatics check, please.
17.
You manage to make your way across this breaking series of boards that are lashed together. And the rope creaks underneath you, Maglo, as you continue up towards the Siren's Call. Strangely, you don't hear voices, but you hear the crashing of wood. Or was that just the thunder? It's very dark, and the rain is making it very difficult. You manage to make your way all the way up, and you look down into the interior of the deck of the ship. There you see Siraye standing before you. She turns to you. I'm going to make a perception check. You immediately notice the dead look in her eyes, and behind her, you see a strange trail of slime. Make an Arcana check.
Oh.
You recognize this is not Siraye. And you've heard stories and read books that have talked about creatures like this. This is an oblex. It is a horrid, ooze-like creature that has the ability to take on the persona of anyone that it has harmed in its attacks. It can imitate and mimic the people that it has caused physical damage to. The person in front of you is a reflection of Siraye, but not Siraye. Additionally, you know that they work with these tendrils, and usually there is a main body. You also know that they are very hard to damage with physical means. What would you like to do?
Do I know if they have, like, cognitive thought? Or are they more just bestial?
They are intelligent creatures. They're very intelligent. In fact, insidiously so. You're not sure of all the details in this moment. You're piecing all of the legends and tales that you've gathered together. I couldn't tell you more unless you would to sit and do some serious thought on the matter.
Can I see anything aside from the oobleck? Can I see, like, where it's going? Can I see...
Parts of it are concealed by the rubble that has been scattered across the deck. There's more of the creature behind a series of boxes and one of the masts, but all you see right now is the Siraye imitation and a trail of slime that leads further back into the ship. Maglo, I'm glad you're here. You're just in time.
Where the fuck are my friends?
I'm your friend. Maglo, I'm your friend. Maglo, I'm your friend.
I'm trying to think. Shut the fuck up for a second.
Maglo, if you're standing there, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
It's a crit fail.
Go ahead and roll that again to see if you get another natural 1, Maglo. Okay, you didn't get 2 in a row, but as soon as you stepped on the deck of the ship, you regained your luck from Siraye. You now regard this creature as a friendly acquaintance, and as long as it does not deal direct harm to you, you will do what it says. Maglo, put down your weapons.
Alright, I guess.
You set your rifle and your gun down on the deck, and we'll come back to you. Outside, Hawke. The rain is pouring down into this alleyway. Are you standing guard?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and wake up the mercenary. Would it be possible to say, because I have rope, I've bound her up?
Yes.
Right, so I have her tied up and bound, and I'm slapping her awake, kind of like just patting her on the side of the cheek. I'm like, hey, come on.
Eventually, she opens her eyes and looks around. Bloody hells. You couldn't have done me the service of killing me.
No. You see, I really, honestly don't care whether or not you live or die. But there's people who I care if they live or die. And you're gonna help me.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Or I can do something much worse than kill you.
Oh, I've
So I
seen
think we'll
what you
start
can
talking.
do. And whatever demon-spawned powers you're using, don't intimidate me. I've seen worse. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm working for the Xanathars. What do you think they'll do to me if I help you?
Yeah, no shit. You're working for the Xanathars. You think I don't realize you're working for the Xanathars? No. What I care about is whether or not you're working for that dude with the tentacles on the face. You know the one I'm talking about.
I don't.
What did you people want here?
Make an insight check. Oh.
Oh, that was a natural 20.
Yeah, roll it again to see if you get another one.
Oh boy. That's 14.
You are 100% certain that what she is saying to you about not knowing about the Mind Flayer is correct. She doesn't know anything about a Mind Flayer.
All right. Fair enough. You don't know who he is? Congratulations. That means you get to live a bit longer.
Did you wake me up to bore me to death with your tedium?
You know, lady, you're really making me regret not letting you live.
Me too.
What were you people doing here?
She looks around. She looks down at the vagabond. I'm not telling you anything.
We're doing this the hard way, and I'm gonna punch her right in the stomach.
Okay, so you're gonna hit her, obviously.
Yeah.
What does your unarmed strike do? How much damage?
4 damage.
Okay, so you punch her, and like she's already pretty bad off. So when you punch her in the stomach, she kind of like coughs up a little bit of blood and looks at you, and then just kind of smiles through bloody teeth. Have to do better than that. You know, when I used to work with the guild, they used to remove people's fingernails to try to get them to talk. You could try that. Or you know what's even more torturous? If you continue to go on about how dangerous you are, that's really intimidating.
Alright, I grab her by the throat, I pick her up, and I'm going to activate my necrotic shroud.
That might do it. Okay, go ahead and make an intimidation check with an advantage as you immediately turn into a demonic creature.
Murder.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
That was the first one.
Yeah, the second one is not a natural one, but it is pretty bad. You turn into this like horrid necrotic demon angel, and your eyes turn black and your tattered wings unfurl, and this is a very private moment for you. You feel that you have kind of exposed this horrid dark side of yourself, and she's worried, clearly, but you don't really affect her in any way that gets her to react to you differently. I already told you that I'm not scared. Kill me or don't kill me. Finding out that you're more of a freak isn't going to change that.
Wait, this doesn't freak you out?
Oh, I'm terrified, but I'm not as scared of you as I am of what will happen to me if I help you. There are worse things than death.
Okay, but that's what I'm trying to so this just not. I just drop her.
You drop her on the ground as a crossbow bolt whizzes over your shoulder and pierces through her skull. She gurgles and is holding on to it and grabbing upward as she looks at you, surprised, and then looks past you and falls to the ground dying.
Do I see who fired that?
You turn around and you see a figure standing on a rooftop above you. They immediately start running the other direction.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast him. And that's 2 beams. So that's 24 and 26.
You
and
absolutely
the one that deals
strike with both. And it's 120-foot range. You definitely make that. Is it a total of 13 damage?
So 13 plus with my necrotic shroud, it's an extra 7. So that's 20 points of damage. So immediately the shriek of these spectral ravens shoot out of your fingers and shriek across the sky, exploding onto the dark shrouded figure in front of you. And it
blows them forward, and they tumble across the roof and scramble back to their feet and continue to run.
Can I try and fire again at him to try and knock him off the roof?
You lose sight of them on their turn as they continue to run out of your sight. You could try to pursue if you wanted.
Shit, no, I'm just going to try and make it onto the ship since I have no one to guard.
Okay, so are you going to fly?
So it never specifies that whether or not I can fly.
It's just your shroud.
Yeah, I think it's just a shroud. It's like a phantom of my wings. I don't think I can fly.
Yeah, because they're not real.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just spooky.
You're just intimidating people with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let me just take a look at this here. Yeah, looks like you can't do anything like that. Okay, so you are going to do this the manual way by walking back into the building?
Do I see any way that I can get up from the outside at all, or?
Yeah, you could. It's not as easy. Well, you don't know what's easy anymore, to be honest. There's a lot of damage to the outside of the building, and you would have to work your way up a series of very rickety-looking wooden scaffoldings. And part of them have been broken by what you assume was Siraye and Doddle's approach up. But you could make it with a little effort.
Yeah, Hawke knows he's not as dexterous or graceful as Siraye and Doddle. So he's going to try and follow the way Juniper went in. So he's going to go back into the building.
You walk back into the building as it groans heavily in the wind. And you make your way back into the warehouse. We'll come back to you. With that, June, you've made your way into the building some time back, and you are currently climbing up the rickety wooden ladders that lead up to a series of bridge work and scaffolding that holds this ship, the Siren's Call, in place. I need you to make me 3 acrobatics checks to make it all the way to the top. The first 2 are normal. The third is going to be at a disadvantage. And you got a natural 1 on your final roll. Go ahead and roll again just to see if you duplicate that. No. Okay. June, you managed to make your way up all of the rickety, ramshackle wooden grating that leads you up through the scaffolding to the Siren's Call. And you are currently up above the very top of the warehouse itself. And you see everything kind of swaying, and parts of the roof are caving in, and wooden boards and ropes are snapping around you. And this really massive rope breaks right next to you, and the entire ship kind of slumps a little as the weight of that rope is no longer supporting the ship itself. It almost knocks you off of the walkway that you're on. You fall to the ground. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
So then that's a 23.
Okay. So you managed to grab onto the side of this wooden walkway as it begins to crumble around you. You manage to keep yourself from falling deeper into the depth below you. You are hanging there prone, unable to respond to anything other than pulling yourself back up into position, and we'll come back to you. Past Juniper, let's go to Siraye. Siraye, you are lying on the ground.
I'm gonna get up.
Is there anything else that you want to do as these creatures are rushing towards you?
Just ready myself to get beat to poop. That's all I can do.
Right. Go ahead and make me another pair of wisdom saving throws.
Nat 1.
You got a natural 1?
No, I didn't.
What?
But I did not roll great.
Don't do that to us. We're so used to you rolling those at this point that it's not even funny anymore.
It's a 6.
6
My
total
lowest.
is your lowest. So you got 2 of them. You got a 9 and a 6, right?
Yeah.
So again, you get hit with these rays, and you immediately are washed with the memory of you standing in a torrent of a river, and you are standing on a single rock in the middle, and there are fish that are swarming around you, and you are standing on one leg, focused as you are controlling every movement and muscle within your body and breathing very shallowly, pulling all the focus around you into your inward space and understanding everything that is occurring, even though you are blindfolded with a strip of black cloth, standing there in the middle of this torrent of a river, and you are focusing as you snatch outward and you grab a fish, and then you snatch outward and you grab a second fish in your other hand. But whatever happens, you then feel this drone as you realize that this moment is not the moment that you're currently in, but this is a memory that you're being pulled into to distract you, and you currently have a disadvantage on all of your attack rolls. So right, and I now need you to make...
And no damage, or?
No damage, but you have a disadvantage on your next attack rolls. I need you to make 2 wisdom saving throws.
2 wisdom.
No, I'm sorry. Make that dexterity.
2 dexterity.
It's a natural 1.
Fuck my life.
Okay. To be fair, I'm having you roll a lot of dice because these you are taking the brunt of an entire encounter's worth of creatures.
Fine.
So you do fail critically.
Do I need to roll again?
No, that's gonna do it.
But it's a nat 1.
You take 23 points of damage as 2 rays of frost pummel you and freeze you down to your core. You are thrown across the space here, and immediately you feel a droning hiss in your head as you hit your head, pummeling into the ground and then rolling backwards towards the cages. And as you do so, you're frigidly frozen. You feel this burning pain rise through your entire body. How many hit points do you have left right now, Siraye? 14? You have 14 hit points left. You're lying on the ground. These creatures have blasted you with these frost rays, and you look up and you see this cat-like creature that is pacing back and forth in the cage next to you. It has a pair of enormous draconic wings and a spiny tail that whips back and forth, and it turns and looks at you with this strange, twisted, man-like face, and it growls. To be clear, it is behind the locked bars of the cage in front of you.
I'm gonna let it out.
You can spend your entire action picking the lock to unlock the cage.
Oh, I gotta pick it. Well, then
it's not
that's
just
not gonna give me it.
Well, it would take you an action to unlock it and open the door.
Realistically, though, I've done an action, and if I have to sit and pick at a lock, those baby beholders are gonna kill me. So realistically, it does not make sense time-wise.
It's up to
you know
you.
what I mean?
It's up to you. You looking at the lock, you feel that it would take a quick moment for you to pick through it, as it seems fairly simple. It is a locked cage, so you would have to either find the key, wherever that might be, or pick the lock here. The creatures are on the other side. You are currently cornered, and you have to go through those creatures to get back to either of the exits. You are badly damaged.
Fuck.
And you have an action. So I ask you, what would you like to do? If you attack, you will have a disadvantage.
Right.
So anything that you do that's not an attack does not have a disadvantage.
Okay, I guess I'm going to. I guess I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna pick the lock. If you're gonna let me pick the lock, I guess I'm gonna pick the lock.
I am not going to let you pick the lock. You are going to pick the lock. I need you, if you have any ability to make this successful, if you feel like this is your way out, you need to make sure you make this roll. So I would add anything that you can to it.
I mean, I don't have anything, so.
You don't have an inspiration or anything like that?
Nope.
Okay. You can make a sleight of hand. It's a straight roll, no advantage, no disadvantage. That's 10. 10.
Not great.
Yeah, you are currently standing before the cage, and you quickly pull your tools out and insert the pins into the back of the lock as you look backwards, and you see these screeching, slavering, floating creatures pushing in closer to you. They seem to be toying with you at this point. Have you yelled anything at this point?
Nope.
Okay.
Not made a sound.
What is this? Who are you? What are you doing?
As they start floating closer and closer to you, you pull out your tools and you start picking the lock. And while you do not fail, you have yet to succeed. And you are going to have to spend the next action completing the lockpick.
Can I abandon it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to take a move action, you can stop doing that and just try to move out of the way or get away.
Yeah, I'll do that later, like whatever my next action. But yeah, okay.
You have a move action if you want to take it.
If that doesn't work, I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna try and get out of there as fast as I can. Back up the way I came in.
Okay, to be clear, you're gonna run past them?
Yeah, I guess I'll spend a key since I have to disengage.
So disengage steps you away from them so that you're out of their range, and then it allows you to move. So if you're going to do this, what effectively happens is you're pushing past tight quarters beyond them, and maybe it's on my end here that I've not described this to you clearly enough.
Yeah, maybe I don't understand what's going on.
So the cages are on the far side of the hull of the ship.
Right.
To the north and the south, you have these staircases that lead up to the deck of the ship. You're currently in the hold of a ship, and since you chose to go down by the cages, you've put yourself in a position where you're more or less in a dead end, and these floating heads, these strange baby beholders, as you call them, are floating down the corridor towards you, and there are 4 of them. It would be very, very hard for you to move through them without them attacking you because it's too tight. Disengage would allow you to break away and not be attacked, but you would still have to get past them.
Right.
And to do that, you're going to have to move through them, and there are ways that you might be able to do that. If you want to spend your key point and try to jump over them, that might allow you to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get attacked as you run through them.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do then. I'll spend my key to jump over them.
Okay, so you focus your internal mental energies, and immediately you leap outward, and you can go ahead and roll your acrobatics. Oh, how is that possible?
Serious? Is it a 1? Oh my god.
What? All right, Siraye, go ahead and roll again and see if you get another natural 1.
I'm dead. I'm dead. No.
Okay, so you leap outward, and they all shriek at once, and the eye beams immediately shoot outward, and you get hit directly by them. And it is just a telekinetic push that throws you up against the wall, and you are prone. So they've just shoved you out of the air, back down onto the ground.
Okay.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
As they slowly float closer and closer in onto you, Siraye, you are lying on the ground. Your lockpicks are still inside of the cage, and this creature is looking at you with hungry eyes that are glowing with like an interior light, and its tail just whips back and forth, and it growls.
Well,
Let's see. I've gone through, I believe, all of you now. I'm going to go back up to the top. Doddle. Make a wisdom save, first and foremost.
Hey, 24.
Nice.
Your mind clears, and you realize that you are not in Tailwind. It's worse than that. It's your memories. You feel like you're missing something, like something's been taken from you. And small things. For a moment there, you were reciting all of the names of your family lineage from many, many, many centuries ago, and you used to be able to do it so skillfully. You had worked tirelessly to make it work, but now it all is shuffled together, and you can't recall some of those names. They're missing from the litany that you've recited to yourself 1,000 times over. Next thing I need you to do is to go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
That's good. That's good. 3.
Okay. So you do not break free.
But do I recognize that I'm in the thing? I'm in the ropes, or what am I?
You are currently engulfed in a strange ooze. You don't recognize the type of ooze. Translucent, clear slime that you're choking under the weight of it.
When I look around, what do I see?
You see through this watery haze. You see the rest of the deck of the ship and water pouring all around you, and the flash of lightning above you. And there's these strange, muddled voices. But you hear the echoes of Siraye's voice as if it was in your mind. Maglo, put down your weapons.
Can I see Siraye?
You do not see Siraye. It's like it's reverberating through this ooze. These words.
Can I see the door that the real Siraye ran through?
Yes, you can see that door. Currently, the mass of this ooze has pulled you behind a number of blocks and boxes and broken crates, and is holding you kind of in position as you feel the slime trying to penetrate into your mind and trying to take your memories from you, and you're fighting back against it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see the doorway. How would you like to respond to it?
Can I try my boots of teleportation, please?
Excellent. Yes, you may.
How do I do this?
So typically you would use those to move in a square if you're trying to dodge something, but it's a 15-foot teleportation, is that correct? So I'm going to go ahead and give you a 15-foot teleportation out of the square that you're in into a square that you can see, which would take you outside of the ooze. All right?
I just want to get as close to that door as I can.
I'm going to ask that you make an acrobatics check for the landing, though. Okay.
18!
In a moment, you disappear. And you reappear a few inches above the ground. And it was difficult to gauge how you were teleporting because it was hard to see. But you've managed to land on the wet deck of the ship, and you gasp for air, as for the first time you realize that you were suffocating. And you hit the ground, and you are free from its controls, as immediately the body, 15 feet away, turns on you immediately and tries to pursue. You have taken your move action, right? It's not a bonus action, it's a move action to do the teleport.
Not sure. I think it might be a bonus. It doesn't have anything to do with movement.
Okay, so if it doesn't have anything to do with movement, I'm going to give it to you as a bonus then, Doddle, and you can make your full movement at this point if you want to try to run away.
Let's get a sprint to where Siraye went down.
Okay, so you run all the way down to the opening and you begin descending down the stairs. I'm going to make a perception check for you, and you fail that. The rain and the lightning and the thunder around you conceal any sign that you are not alone on the deck of the ship as you run below deck. Maglo, you're standing before Siraye, and she's holding her hand out to you. Come with me, Maglo. You look tired. You should lie down.
Even though I'm charmed, do I still know that it's not Siraye? I just like it.
You know that it's not Siraye, but your mind is clouded, and you don't feel that, even though you know this isn't Siraye, you don't feel like this creature is anything other than your friend.
Yeah.
So you do know, and logically you know this isn't Siraye. You don't have any explanation for your behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a persuasion check. That's with an advantage. Okay, make an insight check.
I'd like to have a flash of genius on that as well, making that an 18.
An 18 is still not going to succeed. I'm sorry, Maglo.
Damn.
What is inspiration? Can I do that now you've said it's failed? Or should I have rolled it before?
I'm going to allow you to roll your inspiration now because it's so desperately important. And it just makes good story sense. So you roll a d8 and you can add it to your 18.
Okay, need 2 more.
Oh, there you go. You almost, Maglo, take Siraye's hand and do as she says. You even feel yourself starting to kneel down as you were about to lie down in front of this creature. And in that moment, you look up and you remember this isn't Siraye, and then that undulating slime behind you comes into focus and you become clear. You are no longer under the charm as you realize that this was a ruse to harm you. You are now able to act normally. Your weapons are laid on the ground. You're going to have to spend an action to pick them up. But you are free of the control of the creature. Is there something you'd like to do?
As soon as Bags realizes he's like on one knee, his eyes widen and he puts his hand in his bag and pulls out a small metal circle, flings it out, and he's going to cast Flaming Sphere on the Siraye visage. And then he's going to roll and then try go to grab him.
Okay. So, Flaming Sphere immediately erupts, and that's a dexterity saving throw for the Obelix, I believe.
It is indeed.
And so, what's your spellcasting DC?
15.
Okay, it just failed. It takes full damage. It just failed. It barely failed, but it failed.
Okay.
Is there anything added to the 6 points of damage that you just dealt in?
Oh, there it is, 6 points. It is 4 points of damage is added on.
So 10 points of damage as a burst of flame explodes in front of you, and this visage of Siraye shrieks and topples backwards as you see Siraye's face melt into a clear, translucent ooze and screams in Siraye's voice as the form undulates and changes, retreating back in fear from the flame.
Okay, so that's going to stay there as a concentration. He's going to grab his rifle. It's still there, but it's retreating?
Yeah, make an intelligence check. You don't.
No, fuck it. Flash of Genius, 14.
14. You realize in this moment that this creature is afraid of fire. That you don't think that you did enough damage to it, but that it actually is afraid of flame.
Oh, that's good. Hawke!
Juniper. You are hanging from a breaking wooden bridge. Make an acrobatics check, please. That's a dirty 20. You
Dirty 20.
pull yourself
Nice.
up and you charge across the bridge as it breaks from underneath you, and you jump onto the deck of the Siren's Call just before plummeting down to your death. You roll onto the deck of the ship and you see Maglo standing before a melted monster that looks sort of like a melting Siraye that is shrieking and has been burst into flame by a magical spell.
Does she see that he's like trapped or anything? Is he good? Like, how is
He just,
like...
you see him turn and shout out, Hawke! Sorry, Hawke!
Hawke.
Oh, get over here, bud.
Maglo, get
June.
away from that thing. Come here.
Now he's gonna point his gun toward her. Are you one of them as well?
My gosh, we don't have time for this.
No, we don't. The others are underground. I don't know where they are. That one was dressed up like Siraye, so Siraye's definitely hurt somewhere on the board. Come on, we gotta go.
Hawke, you hear Maglo's voice shout out for you, and you rush into the building, and you run up to a series of ladders that lead up to a walkway. I need you to make 3 acrobatics checks, please. The first 2 are normal, and the third is at a disadvantage.
Great. I am good with acrobatics. I'm not. Oh, that looks nice.
So I have good.
It's a 14, a 4, and a 3.
Yeah, I have good news and bad news for you.
Oh man.
The good news is that the first hurdle that you have to pass in climbing up the ladders to get to the walkways, you managed to succeed. The good news is that the walkway that you've chosen to run across breaks out underneath you before you make it to the 3rd tier, where it would have been extremely deadly. So on the 2nd tier, the walkway shatters underneath you, and you have to make a strength saving throw to grab onto a rope and be able to hold yourself into position and keep from falling. If you do fall, it is not deadly damage, as you are not so high in the air that it will kill you. But it will hurt.
Good. I'm good with strength saving throws. Ish.
It's pretty close,
I
but
spoke to
you reach outward, and as you're toppling down, you snag onto a rope and you nearly rip your arm out of the socket, as by one hand you're hanging from a rope, dangling from a bridge on this ship. You see the Siren's Call above you, and your body actually forcibly hits the side, and you can see like a portal and part of the ship as you are just hanging off the end of it.
How strong does the wood on the side of the ship look?
I mean, it's thick. It is a ship. They do not build ships with thin and weak boards, because this is the part of the boat that has to be sturdy and stable.
I'm gonna try and use my Eldritch Blast to blast open the glass on a porthole and try and crawl my way in. Can I do that?
You can try that. The portals are too small for you and your armor to get through.
Oh, yeah.
But you could try to blast that area and see if you could make a big enough hole that you could get through.
Yeah, because otherwise, am I able to climb up otherwise on the rope?
Yeah, you can climb up on the rope.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do that then.
You're hanging currently, and we'll come back to you. Siraye. These creatures are closing in and you're prone. What do you want to do?
I guess I'm just gonna get up and try and get back out the door.
Okay, so you can stand back up and you remove the prone condition, but there are other things that you could do. Is there anything that you want to do?
No, I don't want to use Shadow Walk. I just want to run.
I'm not asking about specifically Shadow Walk,
okay.
although you could, but I'm saying you're going to run past them.
Yeah, I can't do anything else. I can't fight them.
Okay, do you have any key points left?
I have 2 more.
Okay, and so are you just running past them, or are you going to try to jump again?
I'm gonna try and jump again to get out of there. Dexterity?
Yeah, I need you to make a acrobatics check to leap
Okay.
over them.
And I got an 18.
Okay, 18 is fine. You actually, this time, you focus and you glance over. Do you take your lockpicks back?
No, I ditched those babies. I didn't give a shit.
Okay, so you narrow your eyes and you focus and you find your internal strength as you call upon your internal power, your understanding and focus, and you leap over the 4 creatures and you roll on the other side of them. And you have your spear behind you, and as you do, you see Doddle charging down the steps towards you. Doddle, you see Siraye.
Do I see the things attacking Siraye?
You see 4 floating figures that whip around and look at you.
Help us! Help us! Where are those things?
How beat up does Siraye look right now? How's she doing?
Siraye looks really bad. She is covered in ice, and it looks like she has frostbite on one side of her face.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna say, Siraye, get to Maglo, and I want to jump on the baby beholders, please. And I'm gonna grab one of their little eye things. I'm gonna bite it, and I'm gonna cast Vampiric Touch, please. To thank you.
Just affection.
Yeah. So here's how we're gonna do this. Let's start with what we know we have to do. So Siraye has already kind of escaped their immediate attack, and you've stepped in between Siraye and their charge towards Siraye. So the first thing that I need you to do before their attack is to I guess if you're jumping onto them, make an acrobatics check to grapple one of them.
21!
That is pretty freaking good. I'm gonna go ahead.
Double saves the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an acrobatics check too, but I don't foresee any world where they beat that. They do not.
This is D&D. Don't foresee anything.
They do not beat that. So it looks shocked, and its one eye gets really big, and it has this slit, this yellow gross eye with a slit like a lizard or something, and it like is focused on you, and you swear that it dilates and gets bigger as you land on top of it, Doddle. And your little hands grab onto the eye stalks, and you can go ahead and perform your vampiric touch. And for flavor, you are biting onto it.
Yes.
Your mouth is like filled with this disgusting black viscera as soon as you bite into the eye stalk. Go ahead and roll your vampiric touch.
Do I have to? I don't have to roll to hit, right? It's
Nope.
It's in my mouth.
Yeah, you can just roll your damage.
3d6. Oof.
Okay. Yeah, so that's only 9 points of damage. However, it causes this creature to immediately and very, very visibly shrivel, and it shrieks in pain. Is there something you want to do?
Yes. Levels. When you cast a spell using a spell slot 4th level or higher, which I am, the damage increases by 1d6. So can I roll that d6?
You can roll that d6, but you are casting it at a higher slot, which means you have to remove one of those higher slot spells. So you have so many slots for each spell that you cast, so you're now using this at a higher level.
Oh, I only have one of those, right?
So if you want to use your spell for this, you can use the d6.
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna use it now. Fuck it. Whoop-ow!
Okay, and so you've added 5 damage to the wounds on this creature, and as Doddle leaps onto this Siraye, you've rolled into this pose, and you look back, and Doddle leaps past you onto this creature that's floating there, and it's smaller than Doddle, and it kind of like hits the ground, and it's Doddle reaches up and then bites down on it, and you see its form shrivels up like a raisin. And immediately the entire thing screams, "No! Ooh, stop in the name of the guard! You are under arrest!" And it dies in Doddle's mouth.
Gross.
That takes us to the remaining 3. And they certainly take a moment and stop. And then one of them is going to shoot a beam at you, Siraye, so that you do not escape. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. That will succeed. So you get hit with this beam, and you're so used to your mind being muddled by these creatures that you steel yourself against it, and your internal strength bolsters you in this moment, and it has no effect. It takes no hold on your mind, as you have found your focus once again, Siraye. The creature, the other two, look to you, Doddle. And they pull themselves towards you, Doddle, and they begin firing these beams from their eye stalks. And
I have 10 hit points.
okay. I'm sorry. You take 7 points of damage.
Oh. Okay.
As one of them lunges forward and actually physically bites you, because you've bit the other one, so it bites you, and you feel its fangs deep in your side, and blood kind of gushes.
Oh, thank God I love my boyfriend so much. I heal a little from Vampiric Touch.
Did you take
Vampiric Touch? Also heals you.
Yeah. Make sure you're keeping track of that. I can't.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I just completely forgot.
That's good.
Your gain hit points equal to half the amount of the necrotic damage.
Right. Round it up so you get 5 hit points back.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
I love you so much, Matt. There we go. All right.
The bite rips into your side, and you feel these sharp little teeth claw into you, and you feel blood underneath your coat, and you try to pull yourself away. However, there is another beam that shoots out, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. That's going to do it. You managed to resist whatever it was. Your mind is not clouded. The remaining creatures swarm around you. So there's now 2 that are near you, Doddle. Above, Hawke, I need you to make a acrobatics check to pull yourself up onto the boards above you. So you're trying to make it to the walkway so that you can make it to the ship.
That's a 5.
As you're pulling yourself, your armor is preventing you from climbing, and you actually slide down the rope, and you're further back than you began.
I hate this.
Okay, so we'll come back to you, Hawke. Maglo and June. On the deck of the ship, this creature is shrieking in pain from the fire that has been cast. And as long as you're concentrating, Maglo, I believe the flaming sphere remains, right?
It does, yeah.
It's your action.
A little plate on wheels.
Yeah.
It has like a small Bunsen burner, then occasionally there's like a big burst of gas. So it's like.
Okay, so you've got this little plate that's like moving around. What would you like to do?
June, go find Doddle and Siraye. I got this.
Are they further up or like what?
They're just down there. I think that they're just like follow this weird sludge thing and you'll find them.
June just kind of looks down at the sludge and
there's like no other entrances, right? Can I assume that's where they've gone if they're not on deck?
Right.
Because this is where the slime trail is led. Is that right? Not.
I mean, logically that makes sense.
Right.
So can I say that Mag's gonna assume that's where they went?
Yeah.
Do you think it's safe for me to go this way? You know what? It doesn't matter.
I don't know what's happened to them, so I just need you to go, okay?
Okay, I'm going. And June safely treads along, following the slime.
As you do so, yeah, you can make a dexterity saving throw as you run across the deck of the ship.
10.
So
yeah.
Is there something
I'm
that
going
you
to
want to
use
add?
Flash of Genius because I can add a Flash of Genius to that.
Okay,
Love
so that makes it a 14. Okay, so it's a good thing that Maglo did that because one of the beams, one of the masts of the ship has collapsed and breaks downward and kind of falls off the side as it sways there, as the cranes and all of the scaffolding around the building crack and everything moves to one side. As the building below you, you hear crumbling. and you make your way to the staircase. Do you wish to go down?
If that's where the slime's going, I'm going there too.
The slime is not going in there.
It's not? Okay.
No.
Then
You turn around and you see the trail of slime, and it's behind a box.
I'm gonna go over there behind that box.
You circle around the back of the crate, and you see Doddle curled in a ball, crying.
Hey, baby. Doddle?
And the face of Doddle turns and looks at you. Make an insight check.
8.
And Doddle looks at you, and there's something wrong with her. You don't know what it is, but she's been affected. Maybe she's just really scared, but she's not okay. You can tell from her demeanor that something has deeply affected her.
June?
Is that you?
Yeah, are you okay? Are you hurt
I need
anywhere?
your help, June.
What do you need me to do?
Hug me.
She holds her arms out. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
18.
Yeah, so you realize that this thing, or Doddle, is trying to charm you.
Hold up. Doddle.
Hug me. June, I need a...
June, I need you to hug me. Hold me, please.
Doddle,
Please hold me. Hold me.
No, Doddle, calm down. Can you stand up?
Why aren't you listening to me?
Doddle, are you okay? Like, come on, can you
She
get up?
stands like a broken puppet, like disjointed, as her head kind of lolls. And she's pulled upward, and you see her feet aren't touching the ground as this viscous, clear fluid pushes her up, and this pseudopod comes out and strikes at you.
Can I roll a dodge?
There's no dodge for you. I don't
No
think
dodge
you
for
have.
me?
Do you have the feet?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
It doesn't matter. It rolled a natural 1. So the creature lashes out with this pseudopod, and it knocks the crate next to you, and it shatters, and it reveals its full form, which is this pile of clear, gelatinous ooze that has kind of formed into a mound. And you see like a half-burnt Siraye kind of like leaning into the middle of the pile, but you see that she kind of disappears into clear, translucent nothingness. And then you see this Doddle sitting there. And Maglo, all of this is revealed because the boxes were knocked over, and you see that slime trail. And your flaming sphere is moving around. What would you like to do, Maglo?
Kill the beast.
June, it's not Doddle. Just let me focus on this, okay? It's like it's a weird thing. I'll explain it later. Just go down and find him. You're gonna click his
The
fingers.
doppelganger of Doddle hears you yell all of this, and her eyes narrow, and the whole body, like a broken puppet, turns at you, Maglo. You'll never make it to Tailwind.
Sure thing, bud. And then he clicks his flaming sphere just to explode on it. Fucking ignoring this. This thing's gonna fucking die now.
I'm gonna get out of the way.
Are you sure that it hates fire? Because that was a bad burn.
You
It's a masochist.
You immediately, Jude, you see just Maglo raise his gun, and like you're kind of in the range, so you decide you're getting out of here. You're gonna spend a move action to get to the staircase leading down into the deck.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you start charging down there. Before we go below deck, Hawke, make me another acrobatics check.
It's a 14.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does. You managed to pull yourself up to the point that you were before you failed last turn.
Yay.
So you're back up, and you're like at the portals again, and you're hanging there. Your muscles are groaning in pain. You are fatigued, and you're exhausting yourself, pulling yourself, your gear, and your armor up this rope. And your arm is just very sore from the fall. So with that said, below deck, Doddle, you are surrounded by 2 of these creatures. Siraye, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
So Doddle just jumped over me. I'm like at the stairway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try and so I just saw Doddle take one of them out, right?
Yeah, but then they rushed Doddle, and you saw one of them bite into Doddle's side, and Doddle doesn't look that well off.
Okay, I'm gonna try and throw a dart at the one that bit her.
Okay, go ahead and roll to strike.
That's...
You hit.
Yep.
But the one that bit Doddle has already taken damage. You fling your dart outward, and it pierces into its eye, and it shrieks, letting go of Doddle as it falls backwards, lands on the ground, and starts gurgling as its eye stalks are flopping around on the ground.
Gross.
That leaves one that is currently engaged with Doddle. Are you running out of the space?
No.
You stand your ground?
I'm gonna be at the doorway ready to run in case some shit happens, but I'm gonna make sure Doddle gets out of here.
Okay, so you stand at the foot of the stairs, ready to run back up to the top of the deck.
Oh, and I'm gonna probably, she said Maglo, so I'm gonna be like, Maglo, someone! Hey, we're down here! Trying to get their attention.
Maglo, someone down here! And you hear it echoed from behind you as the creature that is fighting Doddle still starts imitating your voice immediately. Doddle, you are standing in front of this creature. There's only one left. Siraye has, if it's not already dead, it is dying. There's the other one that bit you is on the ground.
This is the one that tried to do the thing with my brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just for flavor, I'm gonna clench my fist and say, stay out of my head. It's all I have left, and I'm gonna punch him! With shocking grasp.
All right, yeah, you can punch with shocking grasp. So go ahead, go ahead and roll to hit.
7!
Okay, so you hit it for 7 points of damage, and it immediately sparks and it flies backwards as you jolt it with this shocking grasp that emits from your fist as you punch it directly in the single eye. Its eye blinks shut, and it growls outward. Why? Who are you? Stop in the name of the watch! And it looks at you as it floats there. It is now its turn, so it is going to look around, realize that all of the others are down, and I'm going to make a roll. It turns and disengages and begins fleeing the opposite direction. It's going deeper into the ship. Does anyone want to pursue it?
I'm gonna pursue it.
Me too.
Okay, so you both charge after it.
We're beat up. Yeah.
If you have any ranged attack, you can make it now. Wait, fireball? Okay, go ahead and roll a strike with fireball.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh my god. 16.
You hit it. Go ahead and roll your damage with fireball.
Oh, firebolt, not fireball.
Oh, I'm so glad I understand.
I mean, I don't know how to play D&D, but like not that bad.
No. I mean,
blow the ship up.
Honestly, I didn't know what your strategy was, but firebolt. Okay, so you hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
13.
Okay, so a lick of flame shoots out of your hand and immediately chars this creature as this horrid smell of burning flesh reeks across the air, and it falls to the ground in a smoky husk as its body gurgles, and as it burns there on the ground, and it dies. They are all dead now. Hanging from the side of the ship, are you going to try to Eldritch Blast through that portal, Hawke?
Yeah, I'm going to give it my best college effort.
Okay, so just roll damage. You're not going to miss.
Boom.
How
And
close is Hawke from Maglo? Because he could hear him, right? Is it like Maglo could like look over the side of the ship and see him?
If Maglo did that, but I don't think that Hawke was screaming or anything. I don't think that... Did you call out Hawke?
Okay.
I did shout, "Oh God, I hate this!" when I fell
Well,
down
I'm not sure
again.
if that was a joke or not.
Here, let me
No,
make...
Hawke literally said that.
Yeah.
He hates having
But
to
it
climb
wasn't
up
like,
things.
help me, hey Maglo. You weren't really calling out to him. I did make a perception check for you, Maglo, and you did not hear. There's so much going on, and there's the rain, and yeah, you don't know where Hawke is. Hawke, you've done 19 points of force damage, is that correct?
Yeah.
All of the glass of the portal has shattered, and you have dented the entire metal frame inward, and part of the wood is deeply charred. You've not made the hole bigger, which is what you would need to do to be able to get through, but you've created a hole. Doddle and Siraye, as you are running up to the charred husk of this creature, there is an explosion of these magical eldritch energies that look vaguely like ravens that shoot out and explode in front of you.
Doddle?
Yeah, you see Hawke's face on the other side of this portal. It's about this big, and he's hanging from a rope on the side of the ship.
Why didn't you just climb up the rope?
Why didn't you just climb up the rope? Can you help me in or not?
I mean, it can now, but also the ship is completely unusable now. I feel like this could have been a valuable asset to us moving forward.
Can you just let me in? We'll deal with this later.
I'm gonna reach for him and help him in.
Yeah.
It's like trying to get Pooh Bear out of his tree.
You can't get him through in his armor. You need to make the hole bigger. So you can get his arm in, you could help stabilize him, you could get out, Doddle, and so could Siraye for that matter. But Hawke is too large to pull in through the portal in his armor.
I'm a chunky boy.
Can we try and make the portal bigger?
Yes.
Like if I put my hands on it, will it...
Oh, no, you can't do it that way. This is the side of a ship, and to Doddle's comment, the ship hasn't really been that badly damaged. It's a broken window. But if you wanted to get Hawke in this way, you would have to do some serious damage.
Guys, I'm not sure how long I can hold on to this. It really messed up my arm when the bridge collapsed.
Are we able to pull the rope up, do I know? Like if I ran up to the top there?
Well, yeah, you could go out, climb up the rope yourself, and then help Hawke by pulling the rope up. Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Hawke, and I'm gonna
just
run
blast
up.
it open. Just
to
blast
the-
it. Oh, come on. Doddle, you're tiny. You can't pick me up by yourself.
That's a 6.
We'll say that you run outside and up to the general area. You emerge back up to the top, and that's going to take a while. Siraye, are you doing anything while this is going on?
Well, I was gonna try and help Hawke, but I guess I'm gonna go deeper into the ship because we still don't know what the hell's going on here. We're supposed to investigate.
Yeah, you.
And I don't know that the ship's falling apart, so I'm gonna go. I'll be like, okay, here's what I'll do. Hawke, I still haven't found out anything about the ship.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So there's another. I'm gonna go deeper in.
No.
Tell Doddle when you see her. I'm gonna go deeper in. How can I get you in? I can't.
I don't know.
Can you heal me?
You're smart. I can heal you. I'll heal you if you let me in.
I'm gonna reach my hand out. I'll be like, yeah, heal me first.
No, let me in and then I'll heal you.
Well, heal me first and then I can let you in. I'm not strong enough right now.
I just like grab her hand and I heal her for 10 points with healing hands.
Thanks, Hawke. And then I'm gonna go back down. I can't get it open. I'm sorry. Just wait for Doddle.
Oh, that's kind of on me too.
And
trusting you.
I'm gonna go back down the I'm gonna keep going deeper into the ship because we still don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
While she's going, I'm gonna use the last 10 points I have on myself.
Okay, so you heal yourself for 10 points of health as you're hanging from a rope. I just need you to make a strength check to make sure that you're able to hold on.
Oh boy. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Yes. So while your muscles are on fire, you are able to hold yourself easily off the side of the ship, hanging from this rope. You see the elegantly painted words, Sirens Call, on the side of the ship as you hang there. And from the far side of the ship, you can see a beautifully carved figurehead on the end, which is an outwardly stretched mermaid. And she is very elegant and finely crafted. And the ropes and all of the bridges around you are shuddering as the ship is now very violently swaying back and forth. The building below has begun to slowly cave inward. And the shingles from the roof have fallen. The section of the warehouse that was previously covered by a roof is now in rubble, open air, and you see that parts of it are still standing, but the scaffolding that is holding this ship aloft is slowly deteriorating around you. A single beam that was holding one side of the ship in place moans as it snaps in half like a twig. And easily it was 4 feet around in diameter, but it is just broken like a twig, and the entire ship lurches to one side. Everyone needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
4. I should have just rolled it.
13.
You're stuck in a porthole.
Okay, so, Doddle, you make your way back up to the ship, and you look over to the side. Immediately, you run up through the stairs, and you see Maglo with his gun pointed towards a strange viscous ooze that looks like you. Maglo, what are you doing?
Do a shoot it with. You're gonna load a ray of sickness in, and then he's gonna fire it at him.
Go ahead and roll your damage for your flaming sphere, and then roll to attack with your shot.
That's a 20 to hit, and it's 13 plus 4, so it's 17 damage, and it needs to make a DC 15 con save or be poisoned. The 17 is 17 poison damage.
Yeah, I would have thought that this creature would have been immune to poison, but it turns out not so much. Okay, so Constitution save. You said 13?
15.
15. Okay, so you do shoot it, and you're not sure. It does, like, the visage of Doddle, which is the most formed figure here, because the figure of Siraye is kind of like this badly burnt mockery of Siraye at this point, and it's kind of been reabsorbed into the mass of the obelix. But Doddle herself is still fully formed, and she does look like she's reacting to the pain of everything that's just occurred. But your gunshot doesn't seem to do as much as the flaming sphere, which as soon as it racks across the creature, it shrieks, and the form of Doddle starts to melt away and undulate as Doddle's face, her mouth opens, and it keeps opening until it's this twisted mockery of Doddle, and all of this ooze breaks out from inside of her mouth and pulls the face back to reveal what looks like a skull underneath as it shrieks in horror. And this creature, screaming in Doddle's like broken voice and Siraye's voice at the same time, immediately begins to repel itself as far away from the flaming sphere as possible, and it moves with a startling speed, attempting to leap over the edge of the ship. Doddle, you've just run up to the top of the ship and you see this. Is there anything that you want to add?
You're seeing, like, my face flip upside down and like a skull and stuff. We're gonna process that later. Is it possible to cast Firebolt and still reach the rope that Hawke is dangling from?
You can do one or the other.
Shit.
Hey Momo.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, just so you know, your mic is doing some weird zappy zap sounds.
I think it's doing the staticky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it any better?
No.
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 Okay, does this sound any better?
No.
Shit!
Maybe. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's much better.
Oh, yeah.
way
Okay,
better.
I just plugged it in, plugged it out. I also just stopped the GarageBand recording because it's been stopping a bunch. I think it has something to do with my disk space or whatever. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of recording space. So I'll tell you right
Yeah.
now, we're going on 6 hours right now, and we're still rolling. We're pretty close to the end of this. Do people have the fortitude to finish it up, or do you want to stop?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I'm
rock and roll.
Good.
vibing. I'm
Rock and roll!
wanna
love 5
kill.
episodes.
Murder.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Okay.
going to have 10 episodes out of this, but it's going to take some more.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna run and grab Hawke. I'm gonna run straight for the rope that Hawke's dangling from, and actually, how far is Hawke from the ground?
Okay, so you run to the rope where Hawke is off the side of the ship, and you look down, and currently Hawke is about 20 feet away from you, hanging down on the side of the ship. However, Hawke is probably about 60 to 70 feet off the ground.
Is one point? Can I touch Hawke from here?
Hawke is 20 feet below.
Shit. I never should have came upstairs. Can I make it back downstairs?
You could, depending on what you're trying to do, you could also climb down the rope. You could walk down the steps from the side, or you could try to maybe communicate with someone else who has access.
Do
Yeah,
I feel?
Max, like, as soon as Max sees you at the top of the stairs, he's like, "Oh, you're right. Oh, good, you're okay. How's Siraye?"
I'm ignoring him at this point. Do I feel the ship shaking?
Oh yeah, everybody makes that dexterity save, and the whole thing shudders. So currently, everyone who's outside hears the sound of ropes that are straining against themselves. It sounds like stretching.
Okay, I'm gonna take the chance then. I'm gonna slide down the rope so I can get to Hawke.
Okay, so you slide down the rope. Just make an acrobatics check. You very nimbly leap over the side and climb down the rope. Your small goblin form and your little hands work easily down the rope, down the massive rope, down to your friend Hawke, who is hanging below. Hawke, Doddle has just climbed down to you.
Wait a
I thought you
minute.
were gonna pull me up.
Wait a minute. Is a black biscuits mixture? Okay. I'm gonna reach into my pocket and, just for story's sake, get a little spider crawl on my arm and be like, hello. Grab.
Why is there a spider?
And I'm gonna poop him on the nose with it, and then I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna boop the spider on the nose, and he's gonna like bite me just a little bit, and then I'm gonna boop Hawke on the nose and cast spider climb on him, please.
So yeah, Doddle comes down and starts talking to the spider, and you can see her finger get pricked by the spider, and then she touches you on the nose, and your hands immediately become very sticky, and you're having trouble adjusting to it for a moment as you're easily clinging to the rope, and you feel that you can climb very easily.
I just like Hawke does this, and then when he puts it on the side and it sticks, you just hear him go, oh, oh, it's over for you bitches now! And you hear him scream that as he starts climbing up the side of the ship.
Okay, so you scream at no one in particular, your new war cry, and you move up very easily. You are moving at your walking speed, so it happens very quickly. You quickly climb up to the other side of the ship and pull yourself up. Doddle, are you climbing back up, or are you going through the portal where Siraye was?
Or you can hitch a ride on my back.
How easy would it be for me to get through the porthole real quick?
Really easily. You are easily much smaller than Hawke and able to climb right through.
Alright, I'm gonna go into the porthole.
Okay, and so you see Doddle kind of swing into the portal, and you're back in the hold of the ship below, as there is this horrendous creaking as the ship buffets back and forth in the wind. And I need everybody to make another acrobatics check.
Uh-oh.
Since I have spider climb, do I still need to make one?
Go ahead and make one. It's if you roll a natural 1, you're going to be in trouble. Maglo, you get knocked to the ground,
When you say everyone, do you mean everyone?
I mean everybody.
Because I got to roll again. I got a nat 1.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh.
So, did you get 2?
No, I got a 4 that time.
Okay, well, it's not a natural 1. So, yeah, Maglo and June. June, you hit the ground, and you actually roll into a series of barrels that shatter behind you, and you take 5 points of health, damage. So you take 5 points of damage as you break into some barrels forcibly as you roll into them. Maglo, you hit the ground and are currently prone. And so as that occurs, Maglo, you were the one who was mostly tracking the obelisk, and the obelisk looks to you, and before it leaps off, it reforms into this horrid mixture of Siraye with like Doddle's head next to Siraye's head, and it kind of whips around.
Hey, before you go,
Where is the goldfish?
good. I'm glad you asked. We have it firmly on our person, and as you can see from the state of your boat, that we're gonna keep hold of it. If you go find your man, the beholder, you tell him that we're coming for him.
And like it just kind of leans backward and falls out of sight as the whole form, like a jellyfish, slides off the end of the ship and disappears down off the side of the ship, with a sickening trail of slime left behind. And you are currently alone on the top of the ship, and there is a creaking noise as a giant rope above you shreds and snaps. And the entire thing sways once more.
Did Mag see where Doddle went off?
I'll make a perception check for you. You were distracted. Yeah, you saw Doddle in the corner of your eye run off, or off the side of the ship. But you see Hawke climb over the edge where Doddle was. So you make your way down, June, and you are now in a dark hold underneath the deck of the ship. And immediately when you get below the deck of the ship, you see shattered boxes and barrels, and it looks like straw and packing material from all of these crates has been scattered out before you. It looks like the place has been ransacked. And off to one side, you see a series of cages, and most of those cages are open and empty, but the final cage seems to have a cat-like creature that is sulking in the darkness.
I'm gonna go closer.
As you enter in, you run into Siraye.
Siraye?
And Siraye looks like she's about to pass out. She's been really badly wounded.
I'm okay now. I'm at 20.
Okay, you're
I'm
all right.
still not hot, but I'm better. Hey June, did you see anything that way?
Just some slime thing pretending to be Doddle.
Okay. I just came from this room that had cages and some weird creature in it, but I'm trying to find more stuff out about this ship and why it's here. I haven't really seen anything else.
Well, I think we need to get out of here. I don't know about you, but I totally felt that this place is coming down, so we really got to get our friends and
that's why it's swaying. Okay, okay, I'll go back to the other room and I'll see if there's any papers or anything quick that we can grab, and then we'll go.
Wait, what about that thing? What do we do with that?
Oh, the monster?
I mean, we can't just leave it here, can we?
I mean, if we let it out, it's gonna die. It's gonna kill us.
Oh, shush.
I want to be... Isn't that a manicore? Do we know what this animal is?
If you think that it's in your backstory to understand what it is, it's a fairly common creature as far as monsters go.
I know it is a magical monster. That's all I know.
Okay, so anyone who wants to make a history check can make a history check.
Okay. 21.
Yeah, you know this is a manticore. You've encountered a few of them. They're very vicious creatures. They're not unintelligent, but depending on the manticore, they may or may not be more bestial than others. It's hard to say. Either way, every manticore that you've ever encountered or heard about are very dangerous, vicious creatures.
Well, I'm gonna... Yeah, do I have that? I have that. Animal friendship. Where are you?
I mean, that thing does not look safe to come out of this cage. It's sad if it dies, but I'd rather it die than us die.
It looks half
Unless you
starved.
think you can do something.
Looks starved.
Yeah, you can tell. Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Yes, I will. Oh, baby. Oh, it's just a 7.
Yeah, you don't know. You look at it and you've not been around manticores enough to understand. You don't know if it's just angry or hungry, but it doesn't look like it's in good shape. You don't need to have a good roll to know that it's not been taken care of well.
Listen, Siraye, I don't want this thing to die. It's kind of against my moral compass, unless it attacks us.
I mean, maybe you could feed it one of those beholders and it'll be happy.
Do you have a carcass laying around here?
There's a couple, right? We're in that same room?
Yeah, there are the carcasses of these weird eyeball creatures. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
My little beholders.
Yeah. So, yeah, they are scattered about. They're all very gross and black and like viscous.
It might not eat it, though. It's pretty gross.
Oh, if you're starving.
You do think that if you had the time, you would be able to recover quite a bit of good meat downstairs.
I'll tell you what, June. We should check out the rest of the ship, because those little beholders were trying to get down there when I walked in. I bet you there's something down there, something else down there, possibly other animals.
Possibly other...
Let me creaks and buffets in the wind one more time. Everybody make an acrobatics check.
Oh, no. Once again, I got a 4.
Sorry, acrobatics. Let's check.
Okay, but that wasn't a natural 1. It was a 4, right?
It was a 4.
So you get knocked to the ground.
Woo, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, Siraye, you're standing. Hawke, you're knocked to the ground as soon as you stand up on the side of the ship. You do have spider climb on, so you do not roll. You just fall to the ground and stop.
I literally get up and I'm like, I made it!
Maglo, you are okay, and Doddle, you are okay. However, below deck, this creature continues to pace back and forth.
I'm gonna pick up June. You just fell, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you up.
I think I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, you doing okay? What are you doing in there? You know, there are lots of tasty bits of meat downstairs already gone. You don't even have to fight for it. So, if we let you out, no attacking us, because we will. Trust me, we're worse than anyone that captured you. We'll let you have the dead meat and go about your way, yeah?
And it paces and stops and then sits at the edge of the cage, and its spiky tail kind of like wavers like a snake as it sits there staring at you.
Whatever you're saying to it, it's listening.
Well, we're gonna let it out. I offered it the dead bodies of the past, and I'm gonna let it out. Well, or you can, since
I mean, I can try. My lockpick's still in there. I'm gonna go up and try and finish picking the lock.
I'm going to ready myself and put my shield in front of me.
All right, Siraye, make a sleight of hand check.
Yep.
I'm in defense mode.
The lock clicks as your tools find purchase, and the old iron gate is unlocked. We'll come back to both of you.
Oh, okay.
I'm so scared.
We're good.
Doddle,
We're gonna die.
you have popped in through the portal, and you arrive just in time to see Siraye and June standing before the manticore cage, and you hear a click. And we're going to come right back to you, okay?
Alright.
Maglo and Hawke, you're on the top of the ship, and you have witnessed 2 ropes splinter, fray, and explode outward as they break loose.
Still, Maglo was angry at Hawke for how long he took, and then full on started bursting out laughing when Hawke just completely ate shit as soon as he got on board. Alright, get up, you fucking wanger. Get up.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
I don't know
welcome.
when anyone else is here. I'm sure I am. Do you know where anyone... Did Doddle pull you down?
No, Doll's back inside the ship. This thing's gonna fall down. We need to get her.
This place is literally falling apart. Right, okay.
No, I think she said something about damaging the ship. I think she wants the ship.
The ship is gonna fucking explode. Okay, listen, we can argue about this later. Right, is she just downstairs?
Yeah, listen, I'm just gonna say it outright before we get off here. I don't trust her with terraplans, let alone a giant ship, so we need to get her off of here.
Yeah, no, me neither. Come on, let's go. Maglo, takes off running down further into the ship to try and get everyone else out.
Okay, so both of you then are running downstairs to grab everybody else. As you do so, you realize that there are city watch that are dead here. There are dead bodies that are scattered across the ship, and you think there might be 3 of them.
Gods, what killed these people?
Mate, I've had a fucking David. There's, probably the people downstairs, but also there was this huge thing that could morph into different people. Just
I'm
fucking
sorry,
gross.
what?
It was I know, it was like Siraye, and then it was Doddle, and basically, I fucking chased it off the ship. I kind of threatened it. I thought it was cool at the time, but now I'm thinking about it, it's that's probably actually a really bad call.
Does this sound familiar to Hawke at all?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
That is a 19.
You know what an obelix is, and you think that sounds like one.
Shit, that was an obelix?
Yeah, you don't know all the
Wait,
details,
I know,
but you
right?
do think that it sounds like, particularly these oozes that you've heard of. You've never run into one yourself.
I don't even know. Honestly, it was definitely an obelix, but I've never seen one before. I just read it. Anyway, thanks for time. Right, let's go.
We need to get some. Can Hawke try and grab a pin or something from the city watch that were killed to as evidence?
Yeah. You stop and you grab the crest that one of the city watch has on their lapel. It is a cloak clasp, and you take it, you rip it off, and there's a scrap of fabric with it, and you continue to run.
The woman downstairs, the mercenary, did she give us any information? Is she tied up? What's her story?
She wouldn't talk. Hell, I even transformed and she still wouldn't talk. Yeah, and now she's dead. Somebody sniped her from the rooftop.
Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. Right, but it wasn't us.
No.
Okay,
No,
we didn't get anything.
Of course I didn't. No, she wouldn't say a word.
Jesus Christ, what a waste of effort.
Well, we need to get as much evidence as we can. I got this.
Right, Gran. We just need the others. I haven't seen Siraye. Is Siraye okay? I've seen everyone else.
Siraye's great. I healed her and then she left me to dangle on a rope.
Oh, what? Why were you dangling on a rope?
Why was I taking... You know what? We don't have time for this.
No, you're right.
We don't have time for this. We need to go and we will never bring this up again.
The 2 of you run below deck, down the stairs, and you enter into the dark beneath the ship, and you find yourself standing in an area that looks like it's been ransacked. All of the boxes and crates here and the barrels have been very very much splayed open and tossed back across the entire hull. And even though the entire ship is rocking back and forth and everything has been in disarray since you entered, this looks like an intentional search. And there are scraps of paper and parchment all across the floor. And one of the slips of paper, as you look down, bears the seal of the City Watch, and it is a mark of official business for the City Watch, as if they have taken ownership of some of these crates. And all of these parchments seem to have been ripped off of the boxes.
Mag's gonna slow and gonna try and have a look around. Right, Hawke, this wasn't us, right? They didn't have time to do this.
No, I don't think it was us.
Right. Do you want to go and try and find yours? I'm gonna have a quick once over.
Yeah, maybe grab some of these papers, bring them back with us.
Doddle, you see Siraye and June, and they are opening up a cage, and as you are about to approach them, you see Hawke and Maglo come downstairs. All of you are back together. I'm taking us out of an initiative order, and I will tell you what happens when the door to the cage is opened.
Oh, hey! You alright, guys? Right, we gotta get out of the ship fast. The ship is probably
what's
going
in
down.
that cage?
Hey, shh! And June still has her shield ready, and she's kneeling down.
What the fuck are y'all doing? We gotta get off. This ain't time to...
Hold. She puts her hand up. Go, Siraye.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna have it so that, okay, you know how like it's gonna swing open? I'm gonna trap myself between the wall and the gate. Because I don't want to die.
Good luck, guys.
You do so, Siraye, and now the Manticore stands and looks out over all of you and meets your eye, June, and walks very pridefully, with dignity, out of the cage, and then bows slightly to you, June, as it does so.
I will keep my word. You and the other are safe.
And the creature walks out into the main space, and then looks at Maglo, Hawke, and Doddle, and starts to get low to the ground, and its tail begins to kind of whip in a hungry way.
Can I bow too?
Could I insight check the Manticore?
Oh my.
One at a time, okay?
See if I
you
knew what a
first.
Manticore was.
Yeah, you do. You've done enough research to know that manticores are vicious animals, and that they do hold a certain amount of intelligence, but they are bestial beyond belief, and they operate mostly on instinct.
It is beautiful though, right? Because it's a cat.
Yeah. There's a beauty to this monster.
Oh yeah.
But it looks like it's very hungry, and it looks weakened. And everybody here can make an insight check.
That was a natural 20.
Oh my dude.
Okay, so
That was a 22.
good.
Nice.
Okay, so what I'll... Oh, no. That's okay, Hawke. I'm still giving you the natural 20.
I got a 5. I got a rock.
So you got a natural 1 after a natural 20.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's all right. That doesn't negate the natural 20. It just means you definitely did not succeed in getting a super crit. All right, so Maglo, you know that these are very dangerous creatures, and you know that it's probably not safe to trust a Manticore in anything.
Like that?
However, Hawke, you are studying this creature, and you realize you don't know what it is about it. As you look at this prideful, cat-like creature as it walks out into the main space, its tail flicking back and forth, and its enormous draconic wings held close to its back and its shoulders, raising its chest up and holding its head up high. You recognize that this creature is very weak and very ill and has not eaten in a very long time, and that it most likely would not fare well in a fight with this many of you, and that it would only fight if it thought that its pride was on the line. As long as it believes that all of you are afraid of it and do not insult it, you don't believe it's going to harm anyone, that it just wants to leave.
I think it honestly just wants to leave you guys. Just give it a bow and let it go.
Hawke, Maglo,
This-
Doddle, step out of the way, please.
Thank
This
you.
thing's
Doddle.
fucking evil. I ain't stepping out of the way for nothing.
I made a deal with it.
Maglo, I
It's
swear.
going to go feed. Get out of the
Yeah,
way,
you're gonna go
Maglo.
feed on people. June,
Dead
you don't understand.
people.
This thing
I
is...
just shout Maglo silence and I cast command at the first level.
All right, I'll let you two resolve that.
Oh, man.
So, Mags, that's a DC 15.
DC 50
Wisdom?
Wisdom. Yeah.
19.
Oh,
Mags is gonna look at Hawke and then shoot it. Shoot.
All right, go ahead and roll a strike, please, Maglo.
Wait.
When you said that you were gonna shoot it, I thought you said him as
Oh,
an
that's
Wait,
and I
wait.
would not
Fail.
have blamed you.
That's a
Oh, thank
critical
God.
fail. You
As a
just
critical
rolled
fail.
a natural one. I need you to roll again. Your gun might have just misfired.
was Maglo already armed
All right.
with the gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to check, because guns are so finicky, and I feel that they need to be because of how powerful they are.
Yeah, these are the Exandria ones.
Yeah.
So this does misfire because I rolled a...
Whenever you make an attack
I roll a
roll,
1 or a 2.
Yeah. To repair your fire. Okay, your fire, it's broken. You will not be able to use it again until you spend some time to repair it. What happens is this.
Oh my gosh.
Maglo has this thing dead in his sights, and he has it almost against the forehead of the creature. And he pulls the trigger, and it's a click. And a bad click. It sounds like a spring broke. The Manicore leaps forward and attacks you, Maglo.
Deserves it.
It is going to claw you and bite you. One of the claws has missed you, Maglo, but the other two have hit you. The bite and the claw. You take 14 points of damage, Maglo,
Woof.
as it rakes both claws against you, and one of them catches firm purchase, shreds your shirt, and you feel sharpened, almost hand, cat-like half fingers dig into your flesh and rip across it.
You'll do.
And that you don't understand that, but June, you do understand that. And it opens his mouth, and the Manicore bites down on Maglo, and blood just issues out from your shoulder as it has you now on the ground as it bites at you. Okay, I need everybody at this point, because we've been a little loosey-goosey with it, to roll a new initiative.
Woof.
Oh my god.
And the Manicore got a natural 20.
Holy crap.
Woof.
Oh, well, 6, but whatever.
Okay.
Same
Woof.
difference.
Hawke, you are going on a 4. Siraye, you're going on an 8. Maglo, you're going on a 13 again.
Mm-hmm.
Juniper, what did you get?
6.
A 6. And Doddle?
14.
14, I'm sorry. I see that now. It is currently on top of Maglo and attacking, and Maglo is struggling to stay standing as this creature attacks. First up is going to be the Manicore, But I'm going to say that last attack was his attack, and then we're going to go down to next in the initiative order, which is Doddle.
Can I jump on the manticore, firstly?
You may. You have to make an acrobatics check.
8.
You leap forward, and the manticore immediately, very nimbly, steps aside, and you hit the ground, scraping your knees as you fall. That, unless you want to make a move action or a bonus action, that's the end of your action.
Can I hold out my arms and say leave or I'll shoot?
You can make a threat. So you hold your arms out and you say leave or I'll shoot. Go ahead and roll intimidation.
Let me figure out a better way to word that, because that's just silly. I'd like to hold up my arms and say, just leave or I'll set you on fire. I can't think of anything better, but Doddle probably wouldn't either. Just leave or I'll set you on fire.
Okay, go ahead and make an intimidation check at a disadvantage. So you say this, and the creature barely registers what you're saying, almost just completely ignoring you and focused on Maglo. All right, so after that, it is you, Maglo. This creature has almost knocked you to the ground. What would you like to do?
Mag's gonna sight his weapon. I've never fought an actual bullet. I'm gonna go into his pack and pull out, and he's gonna like pick up a small vial, and he's gonna be putting stuff in it. And Bugsby's also gonna be like putting stuff in it with his broken wing, and he's just gonna cast acid splash on it, just like chuck a vial of acid at the head.
Okay, so you chuck.
So that needs to make a dex save of 50.
Okay, so let me go ahead and have it make a dexterity save. It is pretty good at that. Yeah, so it dodges out of the way, and the vial of acid shatters on the ground. So it splashes on the ground and it sizzles, burning through the wood right between where Doddle and the Manicore are.
What do you think it's going to do after it stops eating the dead people? There's a whole fucking city out there of people who are living, who it's going to turn to, right? These things are fucking evil, right? There's a time for morality and there's a time for fucking smart.
This thing's also not dumb, though. It's not going to go into a city with hundreds of thousands of people that will instantly kill it.
It's a fucking dockland. You're a docked ship in a city. It has nowhere to go but a city. This literal ship that we're on is fucking collapsing. Can't stay on the ship. It's gonna go off the ship after eating stuff.
Then die, Maglo.
Then die? With me? How is that in any way a comeback? Can we just fucking deal with the thing?
Oh, you're having such a great time dealing with the thing when I told you that I could speak to it and that we made a deal. But who didn't listen to that, Maglo?
You can't trust these things deal. It's smart, yes.
It was going to abide by it until you took a shot.
I think now isn't the time to have this conversation.
Siraye, I'm going to ask you one more time for your action, and then I'm going to jump ahead.
Okay, so I'm trapped behind the gate. Alright. I'm going to suspend my final key. And I'm going to shadow walk. Shadow walk to the manticore. To the manticore shadow. Because I presume it's casting a shadow in this room. Or something. There's some shadow.
It's very dark in here. There is nothing but shadow all around you.
Cool.
You can go where you want.
I'm going to appear out of the manticore shadow, grab the manticore, and I'm going to pull it into the shadow.
The room grows cold. Maglo, you do not see. Doddle, you do not see. June and Hawke, both of you are standing near Siraye, near the cage. Siraye's form melts backwards into the dark behind her and disappears. leaving behind a cold and vacant wind that rustles all of the papers and all of the debris that is on the floor of the interior of the ship. And there's a shudder as everything goes silent for a moment, and the two of you, as you are witnessing this, each need to make a wisdom saving throw.
15. 16.
Both of you resist the echoes that emanate outward from the darkness that has entered into this place. It's hard to explain, but both of you are tied to spirituality in a very personal and close way. And you realize that there is an essence here, a presence, dark form and figure that has very little explanation. Hawke, you are intimately familiar with much of this type of energy. It is the shadow in its most pure form, and it resounds through you, and you feel a pull as your blade begins to vibrate and glow and pulse with a dark energy as if it is feeding off the surrounding space. You begin to break out in a cold sweat, but you manage to resist the pull that you feel, and there's a dull ache in your mind. In the back of it, something painfully familiar, and yet miles away. But you feel an emanation of evil that far eclipses the manticore. And you cannot help but feel the fear. June, for you, your shield immediately begins to bolster you. The Oaken Lord is guiding you and protecting you here as he always has. From your time with the Emerald Enclave and those that would protect the natural places of Faerun, you have learned that some energies and some magics should not ever be touched, for they stay with you. They cannot be removed. Like a stain, they spread. An oily, black marring that cannot be easily removed. And the shadow that has opened and taken your companion Siraye resounds outwardly with a radiation of power and fear and malicious intent. Siraye disappears. Then in a moment later, beneath the manticore, and you reach upward, and your hands grasp onto one of the legs of the creature, and you pull it forward. However, it immediately stops and rakes its claws inward, trying to resist against you.
So technically, it can resist with a willpower save. Or not willpower, wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Okay,
Yeah.
so I will make a wisdom save. All right. So
And what does it have to? I forgot.
I'm imagining it's your. You don't have a spell DC, but I have a.
Yeah.
I have a number in mind. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. And it doesn't matter regardless. So the creature lunges forward, and its claws rake into the ground as it is pulled. You can see Siraye's hand. It's only one hand that has stepped out of the shadow and has wrapped around the leg of this creature almost gently. And it's as if the creature is being pulled by a vacuum inward into this deep abyss that has been rent into the ground. It is darker and blacker than any shadow within this space. And as dark as it is here now, the void that the Manticore is pulled into seems to be endlessly devoid of anything. The creature is pulled into it and it growls outwardly, looking shocked and for a moment perhaps even fearful, as it is pulled within the vacuum and the portal closes shut again, and both Siraye and the Manticore disappear. Siraye, I will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, you are gone.
Do I recognize this as what you did before?
Doddle, you know this all too well. It's the same strange power that Siraye used when she saved you from the prison. When she grabbed onto you and transported you through that shadowy mirror realm that was some sort of echo of false memory. That dark reminder of the palace that you grew up in and your home. Maglo, you are bleeding from the wounds that the Manticore inflicted, and the bite is deep and it burns with a pain. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw, as from somewhere there's another crashing noise of wood crumbling in on itself, and the ship seems to readjust one more time.
16.
Okay.
Nice.
A 7.
Okay, Doddle, you and Hawke both fall to the ground. Maglo, you barely manage to remain on your feet. The world is kind of reeling around you. What does everybody want to do?
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Maglo at level 2, so let me roll. Okay, 9 for you, dude. Since she felt a little bad that it was her cat that yeeted itself at him.
He's mad at the lack of trust beforehand, but then with the heal is like a little.
Okay,
Thank you for asking.
Hey, princess, you okay?
Huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna run upstairs.
Right, you go. Hawke, I'm gonna go downstairs to try and find any evidence. Can you grab the stuff from upstairs?
Hawke is just kind of standing there dazed and out of it a little bit.
Okay, June's gonna go up to him and slap him across the face.
I think that was a bit.
I'd like to run upstairs and like kind of ready myself, and can I hold an action? And I want to be ready to cast Tidal Wave to like hopefully cushion our fall, maybe.
Are you trying to save the ship as it falls with the tidal wave? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just.
Or are you trying to save all of you by creating water around you and your allies?
I'm hoping like if this is the ship and it goes, I'm hoping to have a wave go like, and it like at least it like slowens.
Make an intelligence.
The opposite of speed, that slows. It slows the ship so that it doesn't just go.
That's so epic.
Make an intelligence check
If
for
it
me.
works.
Let's see if I can give you some help here.
20.
Yeah, that's a dirty 20. So, Doddle, in theory, this should work. And you know that you could create a large amount of water. And you do not want to use it to try to catch you and your friends, as they would be hopelessly tousled about and probably killed. It's a lot of water at a very high pressure, and it would be like jumping into the middle of a fireball. The damage would be pretty widespread. However, using it on the front or the bottom of the ship, if you could aim it correctly, you could potentially create enough of a cushion that would allow the entire ship to land in a way that would maybe save it. To do so, I'll have you make a roll to see if you're able to focus your spell in a way that allows you to be precise. So if you agree to that, you can attempt this. You think it's going to work.
I live on an island. I want this ship. What do I roll?
Yeah, it's 30 feet long and 10 feet wide and 10 feet tall. So that's enough water temporarily to be created. That should be able to, it wouldn't really cause the ship to sail, but it would definitely cause it to maybe land with grace. You need to prepare for it, and then it's still hanging by ropes. So right now the ship is lurching back and forth, and it's hanging heavily to the right. So you think that more of these ropes are going to break, or you could speed the process along and try to plan for it.
How close am I to the edge of the ship?
The ship isn't, it's a big ship, but you have, maybe 15 feet on either side of you to one side or the other, 30 feet all the way across.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and ready myself as opposed to trying to cut the ropes or something, and I'm gonna kneel down and splash my hands in the water and just kind of wait and try and sense when the boat's gonna.
Okay, Doddle begins doing this and starts focusing. Do any of you do anything else while she does that?
Mag's gonna run downstairs and try and grab anything possibly useful in the investigation. Literally, probably without even thinking, just anything. Just grab stuff.
Okay.
Just trying to check with you. So, our only exits were up and down, right?
You think that all of the rooms have been examined, although the captain's quarters have not been searched.
She's going to the captain's quarters.
So you have to go back upstairs and all the way into the back of the ship for that.
Oh my, the back of the ship. Ooh, don't want to die.
Are there any of the tiny beholders in the room where Hawke is? Any of the dead ones?
Yeah, there are dead ones scattered across the floor. And you recognize them as gazers. They are the small minions of a beholder. They typically are attached to a beholder. They are minions.
Hawke just whispers, shit. He takes off his cloak and he wraps the body of one in it and ties it together to just kind of have in a sack.
All right.
Like one of the dead bodies.
You're not certain, but you think that they are able to communicate psychically with whoever their master is.
He just whispers, oh shit. And he slings over his shoulder like he's a sad Santa Claus and heads up to the top floor.
Okay.
Just to confirm, the way Maglo and I and Hawke went up definitely is obliterated, but the way that Siraye and Doddle came in is still that kind of rickety staircase, but not completely dead.
There is very little of the scaffolding remaining at this point, and the entire roof of the warehouse below has caved in the time that you've been below deck. And the foundation of the building is the only thing that seems to be holding this ship in place, and that is very quickly crumbling around it. It's been a very slow, arduous destruction, but this building can't possibly take much more of this. The rain is coming down in sheets, and the wind is buffeting the ship back and forth, and with every swing back and forth, something new, a rope breaks, or a pole snaps like a twig, and you do not have much more time for this ship to be airborne.
Ooh.
Hawke, when he runs, he's shouting, once he makes the mental connection that gazers can communicate telepathically to their masters, and that this is definitely one of Xanthar's gazers as far as Hawke's concerned, he just starts shouting, guys, we gotta go! He knows we're here!
June, is there something that you'd like to do?
I'm reading it.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Maglo, you go into the hold of the ship and you're grabbing things. You grab paperwork, it seems like the place has been ransacked. So if there were any items of value, they've been taken out of the cargo. In fact, there doesn't seem to be anything here. Some of these official papers that you're finding seem to be part of the original investigation. They denote that this is now the property of the City Watch, and that under the Code Legal, none shall remove this cargo from the hold until authorized by the magisters of the dock ward. So there's also a lot of other paperwork that is just like samples of kind of like things that would have been laid out from the ship's journey. It talks about nautical miles and about food and about how all their supplies were being handled. It talks about repairs on the ship. You're just finding like a bunch of these things that are messed around. Make an investigation check, please.
I'm gonna use my last flash of genius.
Okay. All right. So it's a 13. So you're missing something, Maglo. In fact, you think that everybody who has ransacked this space is probably missing something too. It occurs to you that there should have been an inventory somewhere on the ship of all of the cargo that was brought on board.
Where is that normally held? Is it normally held? Would it be held in the captain?
It makes sense that it would be locked away somewhere in the captain's quarters. It wouldn't have been left out in the open. That, along with other sensitive documentation, would have been kept somewhere secure. They wouldn't have kept it down in the hold of the ship with the actual cargo.
Max sprints upstairs and is going to go to the captain.
Now, June, had you already headed there? Had you already headed to the captain's quarters?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're headed up to the captain's quarters, and you get to the door of the captain's cabin, and it is a very sturdy-looking iron door that is inset with these heavy bolts, and the lock looks very secure. You grab onto the handle, and it is indeed locked.
And they're like metal doors, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna head back towards my friends and see if any of them can pick a lock.
You turn and you start walking down the stairs back down to the main deck, and you see Maglo charging up towards you.
Maglo, there's the door to the captain's quarters. It's locked. Do you have anything that could possibly open that up?
I have some thieves' tools, but I'm not very good at them.
We can try.
We could also try busting it open. Do you have anything that could just blast it?
Besides fire, not really.
Hawke has been trying to make his way up, screaming he knows we're here. Do you guys hear him?
Yeah, you hear Hawke screaming across the deck of the ship as he walks with this bloody bag on his back, and he's below right by you now. And Doddle's concentrating on the side of the ship, and there's still no sign of Siraye.
Xanthar knows we're here. We need to go.
Hawke, Eldritch Blast! And he's just going to point to the iron door. Just quick, we'll be 2 seconds.
He Eldritch blasts in the general direction he pointed.
Go ahead,
he doesn't even know what he's aiming for. He just follows it.
Roll your damage.
That's 13 and 9. I feel like this is a bad decision.
So you blast the door, and it damages it, but it doesn't open it. And it's smoking with eldritch energy. You've dented it badly, and you've really defaced the clean lines of the door, but it's still holding.
No, it's grand. Make sure Doddle gets off. Mag's gonna try and run, just like try to barge it open.
Who knows we're here?
Xanthar does. These things, they're called gazers.
Okay.
They telepathically communicate to their owner. By the way, want to know what their owner is? I'll give you a hint. It's like a bigger version of him.
Okay. Well, June's gonna put her shield back on her back and ready herself with a crossbow just in case, because she does have one.
Okay, so you arm yourself with a crossbow.
Yeah, I do. All right, then. Shit, let's go.
Doddle, the ship continues to rock back and forth, and ropes are breaking all around you. Everybody needs to make a dexterity saving throw, as the ship now hangs at a very, very steep angle, and only 1 or 2 ropes are still holding it in place.
Yeah, 22.
Okay, Doddle, you're still standing. Hawke, you're still standing.
I'm on my hands and knees with my hands in the wet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even looking at any of the ropes breaking. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just staring at the ground and just focusing on, like, the vibrations of the ship.
So you are very much prepared for when this breaks. Maglo, you got a 15. You are fine. So nobody is tossed to the ground. And the ship there are a few beams and things like that, and some of the scaffolding is kind of collapsing around. There is the crash of all of this wood and the creaking as the thunder continues to strike, and lightning flashes in these bright white bursts that blind everybody for a brief moment. Maglo, you hit the door with all of your might, and go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
I say that he threw an acid splash at it beforehand, like he chucked an acid splash and then barged it, because he's a weak boy.
Yeah, if you're willing to take a little damage.
Yes, fine. He doesn't care acid damage.
I just healed you.
I know, that's why I'm doing it.
Go ahead and roll your damage on the door.
So the acid splash is only 8 damage.
Okay, so go ahead and you take 2 damage. And because you're putting your arm directly into the acid that's dripping off the wall. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw right now.
13.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to effectively just hurt yourself. You don't take any physical health damage, but you do really just bruise your shoulder as you ram into it, and then of course the burn from the acid that you're rubbing into. You're going to need more strength than what you can offer.
Is Hawke still on the ship?
Yeah. What did I do?
One more time, boys.
60 feet to the ground, Maglo? I'm saying that in character, by the way.
I need you to do the Eldritch Blast one more time, but there's something in this hall, something that's going to help us.
Here, I'll do you one better. He's going to take his greatsword and he's going to try and hit it right at the knob.
That's my fucking boy.
Just cleave it.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
And you know what? I'm going to make it a green flame blade.
Okay.
Because why not?
So it's
20
damage. So you rake it across this this door, and all of the damage that you have laden into the door, it finally begins creaking on the hinges, and you think that if all of you really give it another strike, trying to push it open, it'll break off the hinges. The door itself is still intact, to be fair. You're really breaking the frame.
Okay. Marble, we've got to get in.
Alright.
Everybody who wants can make a strength check or a strike with their weapon.
I'm going to strike it with my weapon. That's 14 plus 8.
Okay, so that's another
11.
22. So
A pistol probably isn't going to do much.
but
so
you do 11. Yeah, you're not doing much, Maglo, but at this point, because it's been so badly damaged, as you pry into it, it does budge. You are making some effort with it, but really it's Hawke's second strike as Hawke pulls back and hits it again, and this time the hinge on the top shatters inward and the metal just breaks on it, and the whole thing kind of caves inward, and the door flies into the captain's cabin. And reveals to you a finely appointed and very elegant chamber. There is a desk made of very fine wood, and it's dark and highly glossed, and even in the darkness here, you can see that the wall coverings and the curtains and the bedding, there's a large double poster bed that is holding this very voluminous curtaining all the way around the bedroom, and there is a series of shelves along the back wall, and it's beautifully appointed. And in the center of the room, with their back to you, Siraye is standing.
What?
Siraye, you don't know how long you've been gone. You don't recall what happened. A door behind you has just shattered inward. That cold, icy, empty feeling reverberates through you. You're chilled to the bone, but you do not shiver or shake or show any weakness. You are focused and in control once more. Everyone who enters the room can make a perception, or I'll make a perception for you. Let me check some numbers here. Actually, shout out your bonuses to perception for me so I don't have to look at 3.
It's 2.
Okay.
0.
0, okay. Maglo, do you have a bonus to your perception?
0.
0, okay. Hawke, you're the only one who notices. Shadows in this room are moving when you first enter, and then they stop. It's like a dull echo of a dream, Siraye. You're standing in the center of this room. Your back is to the door, and without even looking, you know that the door has broken inward, and you know that Hawke, Maglo, and Juniper are standing behind you. you know that Doddle is not here. You also know that they are looking for something very important, and you know that it's here hidden.
I just stand there.
Siraye? Siraye, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, look. Mag runs over and pulls out etiquette and just goes up to her face and then opens her eyes to look at her pupils. Are you okay? Are you any side effects? Are you fine? Are you breathing?
I'm fine.
As you get close, Maglo, there's a moment, given what's happened today. As you get close to her, there's a look in her eyes that is empty and cold. A familiar look that you saw on the Obelix. And you pause inadvertently for a moment, wondering if this isn't some sort of trick.
When he tries to come up, I'm gonna try and brush him off, get him off me and say I'm fine. Very sternly.
Hawke is going to... He thinks about going up to Siraye, but then realizes maybe now's not the best time. And instead, he's going to cast Detect Magic by... He takes out his greatsword and he holds his hand over the pommel and kind of draws the energy inside of himself and then just disperses it to try and identify any sort of magic in the room.
You use your final spell slot, Hawke, and you open yourself to the energies around you. And the deep black void of that aura that you sensed before is lingering here like an oily stain, but it is weakened and receding. It's as if it is slinking back into the cracks between reality. And while it is not powerful enough to harm you, you feel as if eyes all around you are watching.
See us. Guys, I think he can see us.
Everyone but Siraye needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
11.
Everybody manages to remain on their feet as the ship rocks once more. Siraye doesn't move. Siraye, what are you doing? Are you still standing there?
Yeah, I guess I am. Trying to pull myself back together.
That you, Siraye?
Yeah, it's me.
June's
Does
gonna
anybody know a way down?
Safely? Probably not much of an option there.
What if we climbed up onto the cranes that are holding this up?
That could work, but we'd be talking about one little slip and lose
One slip
friend.
and we're all gone.
Or we stay here and we're all gone. Or we jump and we're all gone.
I think there's one way, but Siraye, you're gonna hate me for asking.
I can't do that. I physically can't do that.
Okay.
We can deal with this later. We need to find what we're in the room for, alright?
June's gonna turn around quickly and walk out of the room to go find Doddle, but under her breath, I thought we only had one monster in the group. And goes out.
Did anybody hear that, or was that just to yourself, Juniper?
I'll make some
You can hear it if you
perception
want.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
I'll allow you all to decide whether or not you hear it.
I think Hawke doesn't hear it.
June, you walk out of the room, and you make your way back down into the rain, and the ship is hanging by a very thin thread. And whereas you had first entered and it looked like a fly stuck in a spider web, that web has collapsed all around you, and you see wooden walkways crumbling and falling into the dark below, and Doddle's on the ground in a puddle, intently staring off into the space below the ship, and you can see that she's intently focused. Doddle, you can do this. You feel that you have everything within you that is necessary to make the spell work, and you have been focusing your mind and feeling the sway of the ship back and forth to try to understand its motion so that when the time comes, you are able to cast the spell and create this cushion of water that's able to carry the ship down to safety. Are you doing anything other than concentrating?
Nope.
June,
If I roll a 1, I swear to God.
I swear to God.
you're not there yet, but you are role-playing all of this and you're spending a lot of time concentrating, and I'm going to take that into consideration. June, you walk up. Do you interrupt Doddle as she seems to be focused deep in the study of the spell that she is about to cast and the ship itself?
I don't interrupt her because, meditation's something I'm familiar with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kneel beside her and I'm going to see if I can do that really nifty trick of the cocoon. But not like a full cocoon, but just like a half dome around us if I can.
So you're going to try to protect yourself and Doddle.
Yeah.
Make a religion check, and I will allow you to, in this prayer, I will allow you to roll with an advantage if you can convince me by role-playing the prayer itself.
So, June gets onto her knees, and I lift up my shield above us. I close my eyes, and very gently, almost like a feather, I put my hand on the small of Doddle's back. Dear Sylvanus, Father of the Wild, Father of Nature, protect us, for we need you here now. Bring forth the spirits of the earth to protect this young soul. Shield us. And we were both 2 rolls of 4.
And you pray, and you hold the shield over you and Doddle as the rain pours down in sheets. And though your God does not directly answer your prayer, you feel peace. And as you hold this shield over both you and Doddle, the rain runs off the shield as you have created protection for Doddle in some small way. She is protected from the storm, if not from the dangers of the fallen ship. Meanwhile, inside of the cabin,
We need to get out of here.
No, we need to find someone. There's like an inventory of the ship, and although a lot of people have been taking stuff off the ship, I feel like everyone's missing someone. We just need to find out what that is. You could help us in a big way. Feel free to get off the ship, right? I'm gonna find it.
I'm gonna look around the ship, or in this room.
all of you who look around the room can make an investigation check.
Hawke isn't necessarily looking like around the room for anything in particular. He's just specifically paying attention to the shadows to see if they're still moving.
Make me a wisdom saving throw, Hawke.
That's an 18.
You feel like someone or something is watching very intently. You can't explain it. You don't know how to explain it, other than to say you know it feels like the shadows are watching. Siraye, you are distracted and distant, and everything feels as if it's been pulled through layers of gauze. Your connection to the prime material plane is tenuous at best. Everything is very clouded, and you feel like a ghost wandering. Still, you try to assist your allies. You open drawers and look through cabinets, and all you find are well-aged brandies and writing utensils and some small amount of coin, if you would like to take it.
Take it.
You're still Siraye. You pocket a pouch that has 34 gold and 10
Great.
silver.
Great.
It has other things with it, papers, unimportant journals, expensive quills and writing materials. All right. However, Maglo, you're moving through and you just keep pacing back and forth, thinking you're missing something that everyone else has missed as well. You don't think anyone has been in this room, but unless they were looking to take some of this well-appointed dressing, you don't know why they would break into the captain's quarters. And as you're moving about, you stop at the bookcase, and you notice that a single book is turned upside down. And on it, on the spine, is a series of titles, and that title is a geographic history of Abrir Terrell. However, it's upside down, and all of the other books are very easily and carefully maintained to be put into their right place and correctly set within the bookcase. This book, to you, as you're looking about, you realize that that's not normal, and that this captain would never put a book back onto a shelf this way.
I'll just slide that, and then turns it up the right way, and then slots it back in.
You turn the book around, and nothing. When you pull the book out, to be clear, nothing happens. But you turn it back the right way, and you reinsert it so that it's facing up, and the title is correct with the rest of the passages in the books. And there is a clicking noise as a piece of metal inside of the book activates, and immediately the bookcase slides to the left.
Oh, yes.
Siraye,
Hawke, over here.
Hawke, you both see a very shallow passageway open in the back of the captain's quarters.
Maglo is like sprinting in. He fully, as soon as it opened, he pulled the Hawke and then ran in.
It's effectively a walk-in closet. It's not much bigger than that. And inside there are a number of small treasure chests, and they are all locked. They are stacked in a row here, and there are scrolls that are carefully placed within leather scroll cases, and they are all lined very carefully along the back of this walk-in closet. Immediately, however, the thing that takes your attention is the book that is sitting in a glass case and is held in the back of this chamber. Maglo, I need you to make an intelligence check.
Oh, 8.
You've only seen one copy of this in the past. Only one. It was during the expedition that you, your sister, and the others had journeyed on to the Netherese ruins. It's incredibly rare. It's known as the Book of the Black. As far as you understand, or thought you understood, there's only one in existence still. It is the writings of a Netherese mage, a mad mage of great power, who was a prophet and witnessed signs of the future. Agratha the Mad is the name of the author, and this is a book beyond treasure. Its pages hold the secrets of Synod within it, the ruined Netherese citadel that you and your sister first explored when searching for the secrets that would hopefully lead you to Evermeet. This book explains secrets of the weave of magic and the power that Mystra held many, many centuries ago. It is beyond valuable, and it's now in front of you in a glass case. What do you do?
He takes it. Like he's literally in shot for what seems like 20 minutes, but it's just a couple seconds before the lightning strike just like brings him back to now.
You remember the horrors of Synod, the ruins, the walking dead, all that died in that failed expedition, and the scraps of parchment that you and the others barely escaped with. It was one of your greatest failures. And now in your hands, you hold the Book of the Black. These visions held within have been told to drive scholars mad. The warnings to those who would seek this book are very clear. Its secrets are not meant to be known. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw as the ship breaks and is freed from the more of the network of ropes and walkways that surround it. We have reached the finale of the Siren's call as it breaks and begins plummeting downward. You've all had multiple chances to make choices to remove yourself from the ship.
Get the hell off the ship.
And you have chosen to remain. And now everything is going to fall to Doddle, as she has no
Fucking
choice
pressure.
but to succeed at casting this spell. If the spell does not succeed, this ship and everything aboard it will most likely be utterly destroyed as it crashes 70 feet down to the ground below.
No
The weight
pressure.
of the ship and everything that it holds will crush any on board. No saving throws, no way to mitigate the damage.
Come.
Doddle, you have been focusing for this moment now. Gathering your arcane energies. Have your hands, your little goblin hands, spread out in this puddle of water. As sheets of rain pour down around you, there is a shield above you. And you feel June close by, though it doesn't distract you, it comforts you as you hear her praying behind you. You know that she trusts you. And yet in this moment, as you begin to intone the words and focus on the water that surrounds you, using this spring of arcane energy that pours through you, connecting you powerfully to the weave. Doddle, in this moment, you hear Berthiel Olathir's voice. Congratulations. You have managed to do what someone half your age would have accomplished much more easily. If you're seeking congratulations, you will not find it from me. Your hands are in the water, Doddle. You are this small, twisted goblin. You're no longer an elven princess, and you are surrounded by those that you have come to call companion. All that are gathered here are all that you have within this world, and if you fail, it will all be shattered. I'm giving you an advantage on your roll because of the amount of roleplay that you've done to stay there and not be distracted, and not to break your focus or concentration on this singular task. But I will not mince words. You have an advantage, and I have a DC set in my mind. If you do not meet that DC, I will shatter the boat and everyone on board. Make your roll.
Oh my god, okay. I should roll the dice. I should roll 20. I'm actually freaking.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a 1.
I
What
do
am
this,
I rolling exactly?
I do this very rarely, but I am serious. I need you to make those rolls, and we will see what happens. And I was going to hold you to it. You rolled a 14, or I'm sorry, no, you made an 18 on your roll, so you got a 26 total with your spell. And immediately a wellspring of water erupts around the ship. June, Maglo, Hawke, I need you 3 to make a dexterity saving throw. Siraye, do not make that roll.
She's down is a 4.
Let's see.
Can't feel my skin right now.
So Juniper, you are flung forward as the ship lurches and the shield topples around you as you roll away from Doddle further down the ship. Maglo and Hawke, you managed to remain standing. Maglo, as you hold onto this book and your world evaporates around you, you realize that you're falling. And Busby, in your pocket, still damaged from the battle below, beeps softly as if to warn you, pulling at you. And you realize that you have been engrossed by the possession of this book, and you look out and you see Hawke kind of steady himself and grab onto the railings of the side of the wall, managing to just barely keep himself upright as the ship tips downward, and you feel all of the weight lift as everyone begins falling, and you manage to grab onto the wall. And this whole time, Siraye is standing looking at a bag of coin at the desk as if nothing were happening. And you see her form shudder as she turns to shadow and then back solid again, standing there at the desk. Doddle. The water rises up around the ship and everything happens as you had imagined it. The siren's call lands onto the rubble and the debris that was left behind from the crumbling warehouse as the rest of it caves inwardly. And the water seats it downward, and then it just slumps off to the side as if it were gently pressed down onto the ground by a giant hand made of water. You are exhausted, and you feel the weave of magic leave you as you have just performed an incredible act of magic. And that's where we're going to leave it today.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I need a bath. I'm gonna put on some meditation music for the rest of the night. Oh my god.
I gasped so hard. And I've been choking for like 5 minutes.
I was scared to roll.
I was scared of your roll.
Oh my god.
I was
I'm
ready.
really glad I didn't kill everybody. That's super dope.
I was looking at our art and I was like, we paid money for nothing.
Like, well, Salix is gonna get a lot more money this week.
Oh my god.
I'm going to stop our recording.